Hello and welcome back to another edition of NMB Takoyaki Party, episode 73. 73, 7 plus 3, that's 10, so it's actually episode 10. I'm Matt, I'm joined by Jeff.
What's up?
And joined by Arda.
Hello.
And joined by Ryan.
Episode 73, or as the Japanese would say it, like, Nami.
Nami.
Really?
So it's our Nami memorial episode.
Yeah.
She left, like, 4 months ago.
I found out yesterday. I was looking through Twitter yesterday. Apparently, the stupid like Sanrio thing is still going on.
Yeah, it's like 4 rounds, and I think she finished all the like streaming rounds, and now there's only like the final judges.
It's absurd. It's like what audition goes on for like 6 months? Is this American Idol?
When you need to represent Hello Kitty, they really need to choose the right person.
So she's still not guaranteed winning yet?
No, no, she's not. It's oh my god. Like I don't know. I mean, whatever. Whatever makes her happy. I just think it's really weird. And that's like it's been 6 months and it's still an audition.
Yeah. Speaking of auditions, NMB is still, I guess, recruiting for their 8th generation auditions, which I guess those are going to be wrapping up in a few days. So we'll see how that turns out.
I mean, I seriously doubt that like any prospective members are listening to this, but
yeah,
if you are, reach out to us. You know?
Hey, they're
we'll connect. We have a direct line to Cameron now.
Yeah.
NMB is promoting hard overseas with Shiyomin.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only those people can actually get into the country, though.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so we got some stuff to talk about today, a lot of big, exciting stuff to talk about. So I'm going to kick things off with something that's not so big or exciting, that is at Jam. So we talked about this in the last show that me and Jeff went to this. This is like a kind of like a mini idol festival. It was at Yokohama Arena. This was on like August 27th. Me and Jeff went, and it was the like Otoshi Ana like Senbatsu unit of Kokona, Rei, Kojirin, Keito, Wakapon, Harakaren, Shinshin, Sadharu, and Yuina.
Was it as boring as I thought?
25-minute. Yeah, it's like a 25-minute, 30-minute like mini live thing.
It's fun. I mean,
yeah, kind of, yeah. They did all the good songs. What you expect to like kind of reach out to like a more mainstream audience. Actually, so, like,
I'm sorry, Matt. Did you just call like a Chika Idol event mainstream?
I guess
so.
So.
He means like Nogizaka.
Yeah.
Was Nogizaka in this?
Yeah.
Nogizaka was there.
Fourth-
AKB was there.
4th gen.
Oh, okay.
HKT and I
HGT.
think SK were there, but in spirit they canceled actually last minute
because they had a corona outbreak.
They had the corona, yeah. Actually, it was kind of scary. We actually got worried if like NMB was gonna have a bail too because everyone was getting infected with the corona and like they even like I think offered like refunds like up until like the day before the show, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
You should have taken it.
But it's alright though. Like so, like how like that jam works is you get like a seat like in the stands, and then Jeff got so like it's got like the premium seating area, which actually is down in the arena.
They rotate people in and out for like every group of 2 acts.
Yeah.
So like normal times, I think it's all free for all seating, and you have to like get there super early and line up to get the front seats. But with COVID, they don't want to do that, so they like have this system of people switching in and out during like scheduled blocks.
Yeah. And for some reasons, like so, we Jeff got the one for like the NMB block, and despite like getting our tickets together, our seats weren't together. Like he was like 2 rows in front of me for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then it wasn't like it was social distancing or anything because there were motherfuckers like on all sides of me, and it was annoying because like it wasn't like social like distant like 1 seat apart from each other. And also weird thing is you could stand up and like dance around or if you wanted to at this show.
Yeah, all the crazy Chika Idol people were like the types of Chika Idols where the fans copy the dance moves and like sweat as much as the members.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like one of those groups was on before NMB.
So, could you chant?
No. No, just you can't. You can do everything but like voice.
Okay.
So it's like a kind of like peek at like, you know, maybe the return of things, but not quite. Of like people just standing up and during shows now.
I see.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was an alright show. It was really annoying because there was like no Nogizaka fans like in the NMB like block reserved seating area that we were in.
I mean, but in general, so like the group in front of us was Osaka Shunka Shuto. So they have like really hardcore fans, like I said, who are dancing around. But then it was really only a loud minority. When NMB came on, like way more people turned on their pen lights and paid attention. Like at least half the crowd was actually interested in NMB. So, I mean, we're comparing with like random chika idols, but it felt nice to see like some more like widespread recognition of NMB, especially in Kanto.
Yeah, they actually mentioned that like in their MC how like, oh yeah, it's been like over a year since we were last Kanto. So, yeah, it was just there to support them. But yeah, actually, like, they didn't really hang around all that much in Yokohama. They basically, after they finished, they pretty much like hopped on the Shinkansen and went back to Osaka because I think I hung around a little bit with Jeff, like maybe an hour or so. And by the time I got to Tokyo, I already saw like messages that like, oh, we're back in we're back in Osaka. It's like holy shit, like they left like 2 hours later.
I mean, if you have nothing better to do, why would you hang out there?
Yeah, it's not like they can go visit Shibuya or something afterwards.
Yeah. I tried baiting Harukaran with some Panda Express.
Oh my!
No response. Her bot didn't catch it. Also, there's one real random thing. So one of the like chika idols, I think, is after AKB. I think this is right when I was about to leave. Like I think I stood up. I'm like, hey Jeff, I'm heading home. I'll catch you later. And then like I took like 2-3 steps, and one of the chika idols they started playing. Was it Waruki?
No, Niji no Tsukurikata.
Niji no Tsukurikata. Yeah. I did a 180. Look back at Jeff. I'm like, what the fuck?
So actually, it turns out they aren't a chika idol group. They were like a NGT subunit.
Oh, it's NGT.
But basically, they seemed like a chika idol group.
Yeah.
Might as well be chika idol.
Right. But yeah, it was like super funny. Like I was like, the fuck? I was not expecting that at all. Anyway, yeah, that was that jam. Kind of connected to this. So, like a couple days, like a day or two after at Jam, I guess we saw some news in NMB where a staff member apparently got tested for corona and tested positive, and they were in some close contact with some of the members, including Sadharu and Harukaran. So they had a quarantine, and then like a day later, it came out that also Yuina was also a close contact, so she actually had a quarantine as well. And this will kind of like transition to our next thing, which is so Yuina was supposed to perform with Wink on the 30th, August 30th, and it actually was like a Wink stage, and it's all gonna be all members were gonna be there for the first time since like the non-battle.
Yeah, because Mikano was back.
Yeah.
And then Anchu had been missing for like a month and a half.
Yeah, like she hasn't showed up since like her birthday show, basically. So like when this happened, I was like, I signed up for it just for fun. So, like I wasn't expecting like any kind of like announcement or anything. I think I may have half joked like, oh, I guess Anchu or Mikan's gonna announce graduation. So that was kind of that was just like a joke I put in there. But yeah, when it came out that Yuina was going to be quarantined because of Corona, I'm like, oh shit, well, let's ruin like the quote unquote like the full member dream that we were expecting. But yeah, with this show, like I guess I applied for it. I think both me and Jeff applied for it, just YOLO, and I ended up winning it. So I ended up going to that show on the 30th.
Matt's taking his victory lap.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I think I got the result. I think I posted it, and then like just like first response, like God damn it. pretty funny. Yeah, so then went to the show at the theater. So actually I call it my first real NMB theater show. Not counting the Gaijin show, not counting the talk show bullshit. And yeah, it was just a wink stage. It was just, I've seen it enough times. Yeah, it kind of like no real like, nothing really special for most of the show. Like, I guess there was one weird moment in the MC where like, I think Mikana was trying to make small talk with Anchu, and she was like, "Oh, you like matcha cookies, right?" And Anchu's like, "Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, let's move on. Like, shit, like want to talk about it." And it's like awkward, you know. Yeah. Then the rest show goes on until the very end, and when they're about to do the final greeting, and then Anchu like pops up, and it's like, "Hey, I'm gonna graduate from NMB48."
Oh.
It was fate for Matt to be there.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
How many announcements have you seen live?
Like in person live? Or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when it happened?
in
Like,
person live.
I guess this will be the second one. First one being Gotodara.
You haven't been to any other ones?
Not for theater shows, no.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be theater show.
Or concerts?
Concerts, yeah. Have you? Wait, let me think.
I was with you for Yuri.
Fuko.
Yeah.
At 7th anniversary, right?
Did Fuchan?
Wait, was that 7th?
Yeah. It was the first day of 7th anniversary.
Oh yeah, okay, that was my first NMB concert.
Just would be like, oh, does this happen all the time?
I mean, yes, no.
Yeah. I remember I wasn't so. No one was that shocked. I mean, we don't want to retread too much, but yeah, Fuchan was kind of on the way out.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I remember because I was like up in the boonies, right? I think I had like Andy seat or something. So there was a guy next to me. He was a Fuchan Oshi. He was crying the whole time next to me, some random guy.
So that's why you remember it.
I guess so. Yeah.
So was that your first grad announcement?
I guess. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
also, ironically, it was also like my first SKE theater show. It was also the one she announced graduation. So.
Well, at least you were able to see Anchu's announcement, and
yeah, despite joking about it for the past 3 years,
you got what you wished for.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for, Matt. You just
it wasn't really a wish; it's more like kind of just being paranoid constantly that she was going to leave because. Going from like Sayaka to Anchu isn't like the best like logic if you're like trying to stick with like an Oshi or a long-term Oshi. That's why I was expecting her to leave like within a year or so after Sayaka.
I don't know. I mean, we can transition to that conversation eventually, but like,
yeah,
I think like one thing that everyone has learned nowadays is like there is no such thing as a long-term Oshi anyway. Like you could Oshi like someone like Misaki or something, right? And then. Like,
I think that's especially risky.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
right?
I'm gone.
Like I said, there's like you have better odds. So like if you're just getting into NMB like in 2021, and you decide Oshi like Nagisa or like Chihi or Uka or something, like yeah, you're setting this up for like disappointment.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like them leaving soon. Whereas I think like probably like a next gen member.
Well.
Like a 63 or 7 gen member might be better.
Well, at least try being DD then.
Yeah. If you're DD, then you're always happy. But yeah, actually, okay. So, bring it back up to this the show I was at. So, at the show, so after she announced graduation, and then they're about to do the Aisatsu, they did all the Aisatsu, and then how there's normally like the wave off, like where you see this on the stream where they'll wave goodbye to all the fans before it cuts off the stream. So actually, Anchu ran backstage during that part.
I mean,
so she didn't actually do the wave thing. So probably went to go cry.
Oh, okay. I thought you said she came back on stage to say goodbye to you guys, but she did the exact opposite.
She did that during that part, during like the wave, the Teifuri Nikan or whatever. And then later during the Omikuri, she came back and actually, did that with everyone else, like normally.
Did it look like she was crying or something?
Yeah. So a couple things with that. So it was really weird because like it was really quiet. I'm not sure it's because of Corona, but like compared to like the other theater show I went to before, the talk show, which that one had Koatan, And of course, you know how Kowatan is. She's like super like weirdly like bubbly and stuff. So the whole time, like everyone's like walking by, she's like, you know, bye bye, and it's super loud. But this show is like dead quiet. Like, even the other members weren't really saying anything. Like they're just like being really quiet, like waving goodbye.
I mean, like obviously a number of fans are shocked by Anchu's graduation announcement, so they can't really like be cheerful in front of like if her fans are like crying while they're walking by.
I don't think there's a decent number of them at that show. Like I think I counted maybe 3 or 4 maybe. But it's mostly other members at that show, other members fans at that show.
Most of the members also didn't know, right? So they're
seemed like it.
They're also
I
shocked.
guess, yeah, because Yuino was, I guess, watching it live on Showroom, like doing the commentary. And it's like she started crying during that part.
I think she knew.
Probably. I feel like all members kind of knew. That's why they're kind of like they knew.
I mean, yeah, I mean they know why she hasn't been showing up, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess then like here's kind of like the Takoyaki party exclusive. When I went past her for the Omikuri, she saw me and I could see her eyes like started like watering. And then she like said like she didn't say it, but like I could like read her lips and she's like saying thank you like in English, like but like kind of like sad. So I was like, ah,
Watashi kanji for you.
Yeah, that's like my one watashi kanji. Also, like someone brought like their really young like child to the show, but they were like a Raintan Oshi. Like looked like they're like 6 or 7 years old.
I think I've seen someone on Twitter who like it's like a mother and daughter account.
Okay.
And like they show off how often they bring their kid to the theater.
I don't know. I see that as child abuse. Like
there's like the people who like go to like the handshake events with their kid.
Yeah, and then
just so they get an extra ticket with the member.
I mean, the child doesn't really know, right? So whatever, like they won't really appreciate like the experience. So basically, you're using your child as a prop to get, you know, whatever thing you want to get, which is, you know, ninchi or like, you know, a better conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I always felt weird.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah, I always felt weird seeing those people, and it's like, if I were the kid, like I don't know. It depends on like what age you are, right? But like kids have awareness much earlier than we think they do. So even if it was like, you know, 3-4 years old, it's gonna be like, yeah, what the hell am I doing here? Why are there like so many people?
Yeah. This one was like decked out like in like Rainatan gear. Like it was wearing the Rainatan shirt and shit. So
see, that's child abuse.
Okay.
See, if that was Chihi, Matt, that would have been much funnier.
What?
Anyway, after the show, I got some you know, do what I do after someone announces graduation. Get some Taco Bell and Strong Zero. And also, okay, so the funniest thing is, I guess Invia Mia noticed this on Twitter, was like the before and after tweets. So on Twitter, I think it's like I posted a picture like in front of the theater. I'm like, fuck yeah, Osaka, I'm here. We're ready for the theater show. And then 3 hours later, just one word tweet. Fuck.
I mean, were you really surprised? You were expecting her to announce, right?
I was expecting it, but also you kind of gave me this weird, like, false sense of security when she's like, oh yeah, she announced it at her birthday show, and also like, yeah, she might stick around for like another single because, you know, they don't just put you in one single and then let you leave like that.
I mean, they don't. I don't know what's wrong with her.
Yeah. So yeah. So I was like, yeah, it's both like expecting it, but also not expecting it. Like it's about time. Even like in her little speech, she's like, yeah, I've been here for like 9.5 years. You know, it's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watched her stream, I mean, do we transition to her stream? I guess.
No, not quite.
Not yet. Okay.
We're still okay. Yeah. So there's that. So then, yeah, she said like, oh yeah, I'm leaving like in mid-September, and it actually ended up being like 3 weeks later. It's like it was a really short like turnaround from like announcement.
No, it wasn't even 3 weeks. It would have been like
2.5.
I guess 2 weeks and two or 3 days, right?
We'll talk about that part. Yeah.
You barely made it to the.
I barely made it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that real quick.
Sure.
But there were a couple events between her announcement in her grad stage. So NMB was doing the two-shot, online two-shot events. They were still selling tickets for that, literally, like, I think a few days after. And so I... originally, I only bought, like, 2. And it was, like, just one for Hinacho and one for Anchu. Like, just 2 shots, that's all I care. These are 5,000 yen. It's a dumb thing anyway, I don't really care. Whatever, sure.
Yeah, only Jeff would buy these things.
I only bought one of each.
Yeah, see, I mean, I think normal people just buy one. You don't need multiple 2 shots unless you... or even one.
Well, you don't really even need one of them. Oh, you bought 3? Oh my god.
Yeah. 2 for Wakapon and 1 for Marin.
Okay, well, I can understand, like, getting multiple members. That's okay, yeah, but yeah, multiple for 1 member. You know, I end up buying 2 Anchu 2 shots, and then 2 Anchu 1 shots. And the 1 shots were really dumb too.
I mean, you had no choice.
I had no choice, basically, yeah, because it's also a 30-second call with that too. So I was like, okay, it's my last chance basically to talk to her, you know, because she should have done it like a month ago when I actually had like fucking like 16 tickets for the slot or whatever. So.
And then you had to come up with like stupid video game topics instead.
Yeah. 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 But her like 2 shots were really annoying. I think a lot of people got, like, another guy I know, like he got her 2 shot and he was like really confused. That's like, as soon as the call starts, she starts taking the picture. She takes the picture like right away, like pushes the button. Doesn't like give you any chance to like react or tell her what pose you want. Whereas I think most of the other members like you have a little banter, tell them what pose you want to do, and then they take a picture. She just starts right away. It's like in the first 5 seconds. I think she just wants to talk.
Yeah,
which I totally understand. So,
which is nice because like that's what people were buying the tickets last minute for anyway. But then like if she could have tried communicating that. I don't know, like on Twitter beforehand.
I mean, if you Oshi'd Anchu, you probably already like
you know what you're getting into. Yeah. Actually, I caught her off guard at the first the second one. I mean, the first one's like she's like, okay, let's do peace. I'm like, fuck that, let's do a shooting like a gun pose. And she's like, okay. Last second, she switched over there. And the second one, I was already ready, expecting her to like do whatever pose. And I just told her, okay, let's do this pose, and then it was like a salute or whatever. And she was like, shit, I didn't even press the button yet. Like I was like the call started, I was already in the pose. Yeah. Yeah, and then the 1 shots were kind of similar, and that's kind of when I just gave her like the hey, thanks for 4 years of talking about video games and all this other crap, and I'm gonna miss hearing you scream and other shit. And she's like, but the whole time she's like saying, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be doing a lot of live streams on YouTube and stuff after I graduate. She actually sounded like really excited, like to be leaving.
I mean, that's good though. Like, I don't know. I mean, we've had like this, graduation conversations so many times now, but like, I guess it does depend on the member, right? Like, and it depends on the person too. Like, if you're Oshiing them, like, like Jeff, like, would you have been happier if like Mocha just disappeared? Or doing this like weird, like I
mean, she's basically disappeared.
Yeah, I know. She's basically disappeared, but like it kind of feels like an obligation now, right? Like whenever something comes up with her.
I mean, not as much. I mean, we can talk about this more later, if I guess. But,
yeah, when we get to that thing.
But yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I think I got like some closure with her, and I think the following week I had the group Hanshikai, but that one I don't count because it's like only 10 seconds and it's kind of a clusterfuck with all the different members and talking to it. And she was like basically checked out at that point.
You only had 1 ticket, right?
Yeah. I think you can only win 1 for that.
You just said like 1 last thank you or something.
Yeah, I was like, hey, see you next game.
Oh my god, I remember. I remember my final thing with Yuri was the Watashikai for the book, and that one was like you could only win 1, and it was like 10 seconds. Like she gives you the book, and then you're supposed to leave.
Yeah,
it did feel like shit. Like I didn't want that to be the last thing.
Yeah, and I've done that the same thing with Sayaka also. Like where my last real one with her was like in August, and then she did like the special Sayaka
Did you
like,
go
national
there?
handshake event.
I don't remember you there, but yeah.
I didn't go to the one in Osaka. I went to the one in Makahari, Yokohama, wasn't it?
But that was like way earlier, right? Like I remember like it was really fucked up scheduling.
No. It was in October. It was like, I think 2 weeks or so before her
Sonic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but same deal as your thing, where like, and it actually was even worse because you had to wait like fucking like 2 hours for a fucking 2 second handshake.
With Sayaka, it was fucked up. Like obviously, Matt experienced it. You had to line up for the next slot before the current slot.
While the previous slot is going.
Yeah. Like so, no, they cut off the next slot while the current slot is still going on. Yeah.
So then, if you had both, that you would be screwed.
I mean, you can't have both. Like,
oh, you wouldn't win.
No, it's not even winning though. It's Zenaku, so you could do anything you wanted to.
I see.
But like, it was very limited. Basically, to be able to loop like maybe 2 or 3 times, you needed to be there at like 8 a.m. like first in line, and then you had to stay until like the end. And you would have been able to get like 2 or 3 loops.
And she wouldn't even remember.
Exactly right.
Well, I'm sure I don't know. Like Sayaka's weird because she does remember people, but like you have to be suspicious sometimes because like she just met like 1,000 people. How the fuck did she remember you?
I mean, like, remember the fact that you came like 6 hours ago.
That's like when I first I think I fully became like a Sayaka believer, because I think it happened to me with a 2-shot event where I think I had one like at slot 1 and another one like at slot 6, and she remembered me.
Well, I mean,
obviously, I'm easy mode.
Yeah, I know.
But still,
if you're like Yamada Taro or something, right? That'll be really fucking hard.
Shout out to Yamada Taro, friend of the show.
There's probably like 100, like a million of them in Japan.
Yep. But yeah, anyway, get back to Anchu. So yeah, got to say goodbye to her. Arda, did you get her group's Hashikai?
Yeah. I got. Oh. She is in group D, right? Yeah. I had.
Group D.
I had chance to talk with her and ask about the new Tales games.
Oh, I heard that was good.
Yeah, I haven't.
The Tales of Arise.
Yeah, Tales of Arise.
Nathan seems to be enjoying it. Shout out.
Yeah. Actually, weird thing with that group D, not to keep on going off on tangents, but Shiyomin actually was like a surprise entry into that group. Like they added her like that day.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like in the lines like went through Hasa, or was it Mion?
Yeah.
I think it was,
after Mion.
I did Mion, and then I was expecting Kojirin to be next. But then, like, wait, this other girl's here. Who the fuck? Like, I was expecting someone with short hair, and I see someone with long hair. I'm like, oh, it's Shiyomin. And I was like,
at least you know her. I wonder, like, if there's like some weird super casual NMB fan who hasn't even heard of that she joined.
Well, I mean, there must be, right?
Yeah.
There must be someone who was like, "Who the hell are you?"
Because she would even introduce herself, like, "Hey, I'm Shiyomin," or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's how like the very first like Zenaku works, right?
Just like airdrop someone randomly in there, or like they do like the gauntlet with like all the members from the same generation.
Yeah, I've done that once. Like that, they don't expect anyone to know them unless they're like a super hardcore like lolly fan or something.
Yeah, and like with the real Zenakus, right? They would form groups, and like I mean, a lot of them are really random, but you can tell like with the top members, they will like give them one like quote unquote up and coming member. So they would assign like I mean, this has happened before. Like they would assign like Kohona to Sayaka or something like that, or like I've experienced, right. I've done handshakes with like Riona, Mikana, Horimomo, Keito. Who's the other one? Like, anyways, I've done a lot because like they would pair them with Yuri, and like the goal was to get because like someone like Yuri or Miru or Sayaka or Milky or whoever, right, would have like the most fans going to them, and it was a way to introduce like these new members to them.
Yeah.
But the problem with the Shiyomin this time is that NMB didn't announce anything about her appearance. during
Well,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, it was a
surprise.
Super, like,
surprise.
stealth
Yeah.
drop.
It was a surprise,
Shadow drop.
and so that you don't get like people like Andy coming in. So,
Yeah, that's a good way. It's also a weird thing because, like, I mean, maybe a lot of people may have been going there for, I guess it was like, is Koji and Hasa in that group. I was thinking a lot of people have been going there for Anchu, but then I don't think, I mean, like the Venn diagram of like Anchu fans and like people who'd want to see Shiyomin, I think is probably not.
it's like two separate circles.
You just assume they all hate K-pop like you do.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, back to Anchu though. So, continuing with like her leading up to her leaving NMB, she actually brought back her YouTube channel and finished up Dragon Quest III after 3 years of not playing it. It took her like 6 hours to finally finish it, but she finally finished that.
So they put her at like the last dungeon, basically, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it previously, she didn't get her there herself.
yeah. And then I guess she tried fighting the boss, but wiped, and had to come back and like train. Like I think she had to go and like look for like, the better items and
Grind.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then come back.
They make her do this the day before her graduation stage.
Yeah.
She was supposed
Like-
to finish at like 10, and she finished at like midnight.
At
11:30 or so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. But they also like they turned on super chat for her, and actually she apparently was number 9 in the whole world
Yeah.
for super chat
Fourth
makers.
fourth in Japan.
And 4th in Japan. Yeah,
She got like 400,000 yen
yeah. It's like $4,000 basically.
for a 4-hour stream. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Half of the top is Japan. Wow.
Well, it's because they have the like the virtual idols.
yeah.
Oh.
It's insane. Like
VTubers.
yeah, like I have no idea how that that section of the internet works. But what the fuck, guys?
Dude, like so like Fox has like an American Idol version for VTubers coming out.
Jesus,
a new TV show
Christ.
coming out.
What?
Yeah,
Like this is
it's called Alter Ego.
at least the YouTube simpers, right? They at least it's an actual human that you're giving money to.
Or to like lick an ear microphone or something
Yeah.
while sitting in a hot tub and
This is
Getting
like an
banned.
anime character. Oh my god! Like whatever. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to talk about this. But
Anyway, Anchu got a lot of
said
money.
like she didn't really know how much she would receive from it, and
yeah.
you know why she got that much super chat, right? Because she talked about it. She said like oh, thank you for the super chats, like and she was like real talk. Like it's not really that much for me. I could probably buy like the Matsuya premium gyudon.
Oh yeah, Gyudon. Yeah.
I guess that motivated the people to give to her.
Yeah. And then like yeah, she did like because she got so much like she later did like a stream later, kind of reading all the comments, the super chat comments, because couldn't do it after like 5 hours of playing games.
So you're more in tune to this the scene than I am, Matt. So how does like I assume that like how super chats work is that or like you're supposed to read the the super chats
I'm not supposed to, but I think it's definitely like common courtesy.
because they gave you money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like showroom.
and like, I think because you have an option to either like leave a message or just like drop like a stamp if you wanted to. Like so, I think there are others like you put like a poop emoji and then give them like 711 yen. And she'll be happy.
I mean, it's like showroom
Yeah.
gifts, right? It'll
Yeah,
just
exactly.
encourage more people to do it in the future
To get a shout out.
because they got that watashi kanji.
I see.
Yeah, it's basically showroom, essentially.
I see. So
They they'll read your name and then whatever.
so is this a
it
YouTube
it could
thing,
probably be
or
abused
did
if you wanted to troll.
they steal it
Trolling.
from Twitch?
Yeah, it's YouTube. YouTube's always going to compete with Twitch because Twitch had like its donations and bits and
I see.
other stuff. But I mean, Twitch has like more
More
integration
monetization.
stuff where, yeah, it has more integration stuff where you can like kind of set up like donation goals or subscription goals or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like I'm never giving money to any of these things, but so whatever.
Yeah. But yeah. So then the next day, September 17th was her graduation stage, and I used all my Oshi karma and luck
And money.
to get to win.
So how many
show.
times did you go to Osaka in the past?
In the summer, like this, like 6 trips maybe.
Oh my god! Like you've
6-7
been
trips.
to Osaka way more than, well, obviously, like I haven't been to Osaka this year.
I think
You
even
went-
more than me.
Yeah. No, you just went like last week for.
For Hirugata.
Yeah, I guess I went there for Anchu the day after. So yeah. But you stayed there. I left like the next day. You stayed there the whole weekend.
You guys are nuts.
A lot coming from you.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. I looking back at it, I mean, it's pointless to tell you guys this while you're in the midst of it, but looking back at it, it's like, you know what? I should have probably calmed down a bit.
Hindsight is 2020 or whatever.
Huh? Yeah. Hindsight is 2020. I mean, it's fun like while you're doing it, and it's better to not think about it because you know it just clouds your reasoning. But yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. So grad show, I won tickets for that. Went to that. Actually, so I got super lucky. Not only did I just win it, but I also got my number was 12. Which
You were first
put me
row.
actually in the front row.
Yeah,
first
first
row.
row.
Yeah, first
Oh
row.
my god.
Well, in reality, it's the third row.
Yeah.
But in what the Corona situation, it's first row, like
Yeah.
on the right. And if you watch the stream, you can see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. Like,
You
who is
said
that
you turned.
dude in the Mario hat?
You said you turned the hat back for us.
Yep.
So
In for Matt.
let's talk about like the application, Matt. So you had just won a show, right? Like your first ever
Yeah.
show, and then Anchu announced her graduation.
Yeah.
and then-
And I guess there's like a weird 2-week cool down or something.
Well, it's an urban legend, and you know, according to Jeff, it's not true. But
And I've seen other accounts that also say that it's not quite true either.
I mean, it's a good
Barometer.
yeah. I mean, it's not always true, but it's mostly true. Where basically, when you win, like on your Ticket Center account, it says like you have this show, you won this show, right? It actually takes
Yeah.
2 weeks for that
to disappear.
for that thing to disappear from your
Yeah.
from the win section of your account, and it moves to like history. So it's always been said, like urban legend, that you know you can't win another show while you still have it on your account. And from my experience, like it has been true. Obviously, like you know, things change, right? Like you know, someone can win a 98, or like no one applied for the show or something, right? Like I mean, this rule probably applies more during the golden age of NMB, but now maybe not anymore. But I think it's still like, especially with like you know a grad stage, then it becomes more like more people will apply, right? That's just natural because you have assholes like Jeff who applied for it. So
See, yeah, that was my biggest worry. That I mean, assholes like Jeff or Mikana Oshi's or whatever would try to get into this just because.
I mean, they would.
But
they
actually,
would, though.
I didn't see a whole.
But they did.
lot.
They prioritize Anchu Oshis.
I guess so. Yeah.
They do, but they don't. They do prioritize like the Oshis, but it's not like an absolute thing, right?
Yeah, it's not like 100%.
Yeah, they just give you better odds.
Well,
And I have 1,200 days of Anju history on my account. I beat someone who had 1,400 days.
Yeah, see,
He didn't even win at all. But
he's an idiot for not getting Azo.
yeah, he didn't do ASO. He only did mobile.
so yeah, you have. So I mean, I talk about this sometimes too. Like people are too, they're too worried about what happens if I win, or applying for handshake tickets, right? Like for a grad member. I'm gonna apply 1 because I can't afford 2. Yeah, but you're not gonna win 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like for example, this right, like it's your fucking Oshi's graduation, and you don't even like it
drop the extra like 1,000 yen or 1,200 yen for the Azo account.
Yeah, I mean, how much is Ace? Yeah, it's like 1,000 yen, whatever, man. Pay for it for a month. Like I would.
Maybe you'll win the lottery. No, you won't. But
I buy the Fukubukuro every year, even if I fucking hate all this shit inside it, because I want the possibility of winning the 98.
Yeah.
Right. So people spend like crazy amounts of like how much is the Fukubukuro? Like 5, 10, 15,000, right?
Yeah, it's either 5,000 or 10,000. I think this last year.
Yeah, so you pay that much just for the possibility of getting a 98. And like you don't even pay for like
and then you don't win, and it's bullshit.
He's not the same person.
No, I mean I know. I'm saying like if you were actually like serious about this, you would have just gone Azo. Like Matt won Azo.
No, I won mobile.
Oh, you want mobile? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. So I was front row, front center, and actually, where my seat was the previous show was like second to last row, but like far right. I was literally the same position where I was, but now in the very front row. So on the far right, which wasn't very good for Anchu. So actually, she didn't really get to see her much from where I was sitting. Well, but I got a bunch of weird like res from like Reina-tan and Shuri. that was weird.
She's just trying to pick up all the lost Oshis.
I guess so, yeah. Actually, it would have been a good position if I liked Mikana. But she's in the very back, which actually I think is the amusing thing. I was back reading the Discord chat, and like this is Ryan's first time watching the show, and he's just complaining about all this shit. Like, what the fuck is this song? Where's Mikana? Why is she in the back? She should be in center.
Hey.
Well, you gotta show up to the Shonichi for that.
But yeah, I mean that's the bad thing about being like front row is because like you don't have an angle.
Yeah, it's like this weird tunnel vision.
Yeah,
and like even if I wanted to like look at Anchu, it still feels weird because there's like a member right
in front of you. Yeah. You would look like an asshole. Yeah, like, you would feel like an asshole, like not looking at the member in front of you.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this before too, even like at concerts too, like where like you might be looking at the screen, but like maybe you're also sitting like next to like the catwalk or the stage or whatever.
Yeah, and someone will be right in front of you.
Yeah.
But like Sayaka's on the other screen, on the other side, so I have to go look at her.
I do that a lot. Like most of the crowd is like turned one way, I'm turning the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Like, but yeah, you learn to get over it. I mean, in concerts it's fine. Like, you know, there's a lot of people, you don't really notice. But if you're like front row in the theater, you kind of look like an asshole because like there's literally one member in front of you, like just you,
and they're like maybe like 3 feet away from you.
Yeah, and then
right? 3-5 feet.
And sometimes they even look at you, right? Because there's nothing else to do, so they look at you, and then you're not looking at them.
It's weird, yeah.
That's the theater experience.
Yep.
It's why Matt was so desperate to win, to get in.
Because like I liked it so much from the Gaijin show last year, and I think probably Jeff also, right?
So has it been everything that you had hoped for? I mean, you don't get the level of rest that you used to do.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's definitely fun, you know. Now I feel like there's like theater show expert, like man, I don't want to go to theater anymore. Fuck this. It's like once you got the thing, now I don't want this anymore, right?
And like man, first row, but it's on the edge, man, not worth it.
Yeah.
Pick everything now.
I have friends who are like that.
I'm like, fuck you, put me in the back row. I just want to get in.
Put you in the island.
Yeah, or the island, right? Like, eventually, like your first time, you're just happy to get in, so you don't care. Like, you'd sit in the edge of the island or whatever. But like Matt now, it's gonna be like, I'm not gonna sit in the island. I'm gonna sit in the middle because I want to be able to take in the whole show.
I'm gonna sit in the. Oh, it's like I look it up already and I cancel it ahead of time. That's what you used to do, right? People like they see like they get a really like high number and they're like I don't want to show up, and that's why they have a high cancel machi rate.
Yeah, I mean
she only had 3 cancellations for that show.
Yeah, I mean it's a grad show, so Usually grad shows have very low cancellations.
Yeah. Even birthday shows.
Yeah.
Like, I think Mikana's Seitan Sai only had one.
Yeah. But that's good. I mean, that shows that, you know, their fans are dedicated.
Yeah, and it was like actually a lot of like you guys joke how like Anju has no fans. No, she actually has like a pretty solid number. I think at least 100 or a couple hundred maybe fans.
I mean,
cause I didn't really notice like any other like.
I mean, dude, if you don't have if you stay in NMB for 9.5 years and you don't have like 200 fans, like that would be like really really sad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just need to spend like there's 200, like Miki.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be 200 somewhere, right? Like, or like people who are, you know, lapsed, but they still have their Oshi account, their Ticket Center account on Anchu.
Yeah,
that's what I was telling Matt. Like, you might get fucked over by those people. Like, they have like 2,000 days, but they don't even follow NMB anymore.
That's like me with Yui Han. I'm thinking of applying for her graduation show.
I mean, you might win. It's like
my first AKB theater show.
My friend Takumi, we talk about him a lot. But he had like 3,000 days with Sakura or something. Like basically like from the moment she joined HKT. Like he added her, but like he doesn't give a shit. Like he doesn't go to any HKT thing or whatever. But like it's on his Ticket Center accounts, and he was telling me like, you know what, I could probably get into her show if I wanted to.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's the real long bet.
Like I have another friend who had like, you know, a couple of 1,000 days with Mahohon too, and we were joking about that too. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking use this.
Do you want to talk about your friend who did the same thing for Yuri's grad stage?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, I've known him for a really long time. Like, you know, what if you get involved? Like, you go to events and stuff, right? You meet a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So you get involved in the community or whatever. Like, you know, I know this guy. Like, you know, he was in college or whatever, like a long time ago, and he was, you know, Yuri Oshi or whatever. But then, you know, life got in the way. He spent college. He was in college or whatever. He did masters or what, and then he got into work. And he was like totally not in, like he wasn't doing anything with idols at all. But he had like
grew up.
Yeah, but he had like 2,000 days with Yuri, and he applies for her grad stage, obviously, right? Because, you know, and then he gets like number 1, I think.
This is in the before times where like number 1 actually meant you could pick. You had first take of it, whatever.
Yeah, you had basically you enter the theater number 1, and you can sit wherever you want. So these people would choose like first row center.
Yeah, whereas now like number 1 means you're on the far left of
which is like one really really terrible seat.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so I mean,
back to Anchu.
Back to Anchu.
Yeah, that guy won and Ryan didn't.
Yes. Fuck that guy. No.
But yeah, anyway, yeah. So it was just like a fun stage. Yeah, I was complaining about how like I was only getting like res from Rantan and Shiyomin, and I was like, well, if I want anyone besides like Anchu to give me res, I was hoping like maybe Yuino would be on my side, but she wasn't. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, the rest of the show went through, and then her graduation ceremony happened, which they actually had a lot of like a long screen, long like slideshow.
It was, I think, one of the longest ones I've ever seen.
Like, yeah, they had a lot of pictures from like before 2015.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
really
it's like
random ones
because I didn't start following Anchu until like 2017, so like I didn't really do anything for me until it got to the point where it's like, oh, what would be my first thing from that? I don't know. I guess it might have been like the 9th anniversary photos, probably. I think the first things where I like actually had like some like attachment at that point. Yeah. But like, it's kind of like actually before that there was the encore thing with Mighty, and she's like going over the history of Anchu, and there's not really a whole lot going on. It's like she joined the group. She was in the music video. Which one was it? The weird like Yakuza one, not the Yakuza one, where she wears a mustache. The beat.
Prom no Koibido.
Yeah. Prom no Koibido. Yeah, the Shirogumi one. And then in Sabatsu, like skip ahead like
I don't know
years.
why they skipped.
It's like I guess that's kind of true. Like she didn't really do a whole lot, between that. If you're looking at like just like service level stuff, yeah.
Basically, in the time that Matt knew Anchu, like she didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So 2017.
Best time to become Anchu,
except YouTube.
Yeah. That's when I got into it. Was YouTube? Like I think the first Dragon Quest stream on the YNN 24-hour thing was like my first exposure to her.
Yeah.
I'm like, this girl's crazy. She likes Dragon Quest. That's funny.
I mean, I don't know when we will have an opportunity to talk about Anchu, but like the thing with Anchu is like, my criticism of her is like she has no follow through. She just like gives.
She is like really excited for it and tries again and gets bored.
Yeah, like the gaming thing. Like, why didn't she finish it?
It took a while. I also think Wynan stopped helping her.
Yeah, and that's it, right? Like, I mean, Wynan stopped helping her, but she started doing it herself. But then she stopped.
Yeah. Like, basically, I think that's what because Wynan definitely wanted to cut her off. And, like, okay, you want to do this thing, okay, it's all on you.
Yeah. I mean, look at Wakapon. Wakapon is doing it herself.
Yeah. And I feel like...
Is she?
She might have
some
games
herself.
No,
but then
Final Fantasy VII is herself.
Yeah, that is. But then, like, they're still
Shadow
doing the stuff with Mikana.
Well, yeah, the Mikana thing is a the ones with Mikana is a YNN thing. But other than that, like Wakapon, if you look at her channel, she has like a lot of games. She has more games on her channel than Anchu does.
No, it's just 4 games. It's just Resident Evil, Tomodachi, and Final Fantasy, and
Miitopia.
Yeah, Miitopia, Lemon, and Shadow Claws. That's 4 games. Like Anchu's done like way more.
No, she's deleted all of them.
Yeah, get off my turf.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the graduation stage happens. She comes out in this like big red dress.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, ooh, fancy. And she's saying, what is it? I have it here. Hikoshimashita.
Hikoshimashita. I've moved.
From Team M.
Yeah. It's a good song. Like, it's a weird choice, but you know.
It's like what Rainyan picked for her graduation or something.
But like Rainyan's made sense though. She moved from AKB to NMB.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And now Anchu's moving on from NMB. Well, we can actually transition to her grad speech where she's like, she announced actually that she's leaving show title completely to go be her own solo thing.
Yep.
Which actually I got kind of excited when I heard that because I was like,
Why?
okay, that's good.
You hate show title?
Hold you back. Yeah, I think Yoshimoto show title just gonna hold you back and like take all your money and then.
Well,
especially if she's going this YouTuber, streamer route.
It's a. I mean, this is the argument that Jeff and I always have. Like, if you're happy with just being chika and existing on the periphery of celebrity, then yeah, I mean it makes sense. Like, fuck show title. But if you had dreams of actually making it big, I guess, or mainstream, then you need a big agency, and it is really, really hard to get a big agency to pick you up. So
that depends on the what thing you're doing, like what kind of industry you're trying to
get
into.
Yeah, and I know. So if you're a musician or actress or whatever, then I mean there's no reason to leave or variety. Like, there's no reason to leave Yoshimoto because you're already in, a big agency. But, the people who are, who decide to leave Yoshimoto, that you're basically, condemning yourself to always working for small agencies. because like you're not gonna try to piss off Yoshimoto and pick up someone that left them, right? I mean that happens for like really big acts, but like minor ones, like they wouldn't do that. So and yeah, so basically what I'm saying is like for Anchu, I think it does make sense for her to leave show title because like she has no ambition to to be a big actress or whatever, right? She just wants to exist.
Yeah, she just wants to play games. I mean, she did say she still wants to do plays and stuff, which I guess you don't really need a big agency to like get connected with that. Cause
and
the play actresses and actors aren't really like big money makers. It's basically like community theater. You don't really make money from that.
Yeah, and with the new media stuff, I do get it though because like Yoshimoto, like the agency model doesn't really apply with new media, with like YouTube and all of that. So. I mean, if she hits it big in YouTube, then sure.
Yeah, and then she doesn't have to answer to anyone. She doesn't worry about, like, someone taking the cut from her earnings. Because it's already really hard to make money on YouTube and stuff, unless you're, like, huge.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, the whole monetization stuff and, like, getting demonetized to use, like, licensed music or some shit like that.
Yeah. And Anchu has, like, 21,000 followers, and, like, probably 20,000 of them are inactive.
Yeah, it's true. She did a few live streams after graduating. She had like 600, 700, 800 or so people tuning in. Whereas while she was still in NMB, it was like on average about 300-ish or so, 300.
Well, I mean, it's also because she was talking about her graduation, and even NMB fans still want to hear about that.
Yeah.
Just wait until she's streaming Apex.
And then it drops down completely.
like Coco-chan gets like 30 viewers.
Yeah. Yeah. Talked about go back to her graduation speech. Yeah, it's pretty much it's going to be focusing on her own thing, and I guess the dress that she made actually was made by Canary, which is like that weird like hipster clothing store in Tokyo that she randomly did like a fashion shoot for. So they're the ones that actually made the dress for her. And she's like, "Oh, I won't get to have like an actual like graduation concert, but they made a dress for me anyway."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was nice. And then I guess she dropped like some like a megaton like a news when she's talking about like her like last comments like when talking about like third gen, who the senators were supposed to be.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it's actually true or not.
I doubt it's true because like Yuri wasn't really like top member for third gen at the start.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, she was like saying, okay, yeah, so like when third gen there was actually three candidates for being center. One of them actually became center.
Yeah.
Shu, I guess, right?
Yeah.
One of them ended up becoming an actress.
Yeah.
Yuri?
Yeah.
I thought maybe that referred to Anton.
No, yeah, it could have been that too, right?
I mean, she was clearly name dropping like big members.
Yeah, and then she's like, the third one was me, Akari Yusuka. So,
yeah.
Which that part might have been a joke or not, or whatever. I don't know.
Well, it's a nice story. Let's just assume it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they waved goodbye and then did the Miyakuri again. So this time I was wearing the Mario hat, and she like saw me, and she's like, "Oh, Super Mario!" and she like, jumped up.
Well, at least.
And I was like one of the first people to go out, so like everyone like saw it and was like clapping at me. And I'm like, all right.
That's pretty cool. You got
one last troll moment, I guess. So then the next after her graduation, she did some live streams on YouTube, kind of explain all. Expose, ask me anything thing. Wasn't really ask me anything. She only had like a few questions. Talking about like her graduation, like why did she decide to graduate? When did she decide to graduate? It rambles a lot. It was really hard to follow like, if you were watching it live, and then if you watch the archive. Basically, though, she said like she was planning to graduate like right when like Corona like started happening. So well over a year and a half ago. And this is where it gets kind of confusing. I guess she was like complaining about the shows they were doing because they were doing like no audience performances, and I think she felt it was like really like pointless. Like, why are we doing this? There's no audience. And I guess she kind of like, had an argument with like the management and staff, like wanting to quit.
No, I think it's because so basically, when they did the No Against shows, right? Like, I actually thought it was weird. So she was doing like a lot of weird stuff. I think a lot of people noticed this when they did start doing it. Like, she would do like different things, right? She would approach the camera and then wave at it, or like during Jiko Shokai, she would stand in the middle rather than stand in her place or whatever. Like, and it was because like she felt like that was the best way to interact with fans that weren't there. And I guess like staff got really angry at her and basically lectured her, saying like, you shouldn't do that, that's wrong, blah blah blah. And she said that she got really angry at that, and she said like, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna quit. But apparently, like, she's done it so many times that like no one actually thought she was serious.
Okay, so it's like a boy crawls wolf.
Yeah, and people were like, yeah, oh, that's Ishizuka, she's doing it again. And she was even saying like, like my manager actually said like, Ishizuka was right, like, you should be doing like. She couldn't talk about it directly, so she was talking around the issue, but you could tell like that's what she was saying, is that she was trying to do new things during the Corona lives, but like staff wouldn't let her, and then they fought about it. And then she was saying, and she was saying like, you know what, and like, no, I'm serious, like I want to quit. And then staff was like, oh, you can't quit because we have to do like all, like, there's a single and whatever, you have to finish the single, blah blah blah. And I guess because like Date Date was like extended for like forever, and she couldn't quit during that time. And then it got all the way until like Nam Battle. Well, apparently she was like, no, I'm not joining this. You're not gonna make me join this.
Yeah, she didn't want to do non-battle.
Yeah, and then staff was like, well, you still have to do all these other events, so you're gonna be around anyway, so you have to join them battle. And she was like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
I was like, okay, if they, I'm guessing like some of these other members, like when we had like, that weird like grad rush, Rikaty, Manatee,
Yuria.
Yuka, Yuria. Yuria was out, so she wasn't part of non-battle anyway. But Oga, Yuka. I wonder if they had like, the same thing also.
Probably.
So I'm surprised like Anchu didn't leave like in that same time.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if Anchu really wanted to, she could have not joined Nam Battle, right? But like I guess she had like the sense of responsibility and whatever. That's why she
like
stayed.
one like the last like 10 senpai or whatever. So.
And she actually kind of talked about like why the time between her announcement and her graduation was so short. It was because there was some. I mean, she didn't talk about this, right? But you could tell, like probably her contract was gonna be renewed.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, "Yeah, fuck that, no." That's why they announced, and then she quit like within 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was saying like even the stream, she said like, I'm really sorry it was like so short, but I've wanted to quit for a year and a half, like just give that to me. So I think it was a lot of like Anchu has always been like over dramatic, so I guess like staff really didn't really take her serious at first. But apparently she had been telling anyone who would like all the staff, right? Like, I'm gonna quit. And I guess they were just like, yeah, of course you are.
Do it, bitch. Kind of dare her, I guess.
Yeah, it was actually an interesting stream. If you should listen to, I guess like as Matt said, skip the first 5 minutes and then listen for 20 minutes. And you kind of get the gist. I don't know. So I think Jeff was saying that the Matome was wrong. I think the Matome was right. It's just that they
cherry picked certain parts out of it.
They did though, but they weren't really saying anything wrong. They just jumped to some conclusions that I thought were wrong. But I don't get the feeling that like, oh, this is like Matome spirits, like, you know, trying to cause trouble or like misinterpreting what Anchu said. I think it was what she said. It's just that there are things that she said that I don't think needed to be interpreted that way. Like the Senbatsu thing, for example. Like, you know, if you read Matome Spirits, you think like, oh, Anchu knew she was going to be Senbatsu. That's actually wrong. Because how she said it was that staff was telling her, like, you know, you should stay because you might get into Senbatsu. And that was as much as they told her. So it wasn't that, like, because like if you read the Matome, they were saying that, oh, Anchu knew she was going to get into Senbatsu, and that was a great piece of acting from her to be, you know, surprised and whatever that she was Senbatsu. But that's not true. She didn't know.
Yeah, especially because I think they probably told her that when she first was going to quit, because she thought she was going to get into Senbatsu for Date Date, right? And she had that whole like meltdown on Twitter. Like it was like a weird like black video.
Yeah. Of
her like screaming about not getting Senbatsu.
Yeah. Well, no,
so,
I think it was Shidari Yanagi because they were like, she said like, do you really want to quit because, you know, you might get into you probably will get into the next Senbatsu or something like that. So I guess like maybe you're right, Matt, there were probably other conversations like in other times where, you know, someone told her like, you know, you might get into Senbatsu for Date Date, and she was disappointed that she wasn't able to get into it.
Yeah, because she had like a lot of momentum at that point too.
Yeah, I think we even talked about it. When she didn't
get it, then she like kind of like dropped completely off. Like that's when we felt like, oh, she's like a failure or whatever.
Yeah,
and then kind of saw like a rebound at the beginning of this year. So the whole like we didn't know about like her like not wanting to non-battle. It seemed weird because she was all like C-Team is a win and all this other.
Oh, maybe that's her way to focus the energy.
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, her coping mechanism is just to be like treat us like Apex, I guess. Or
I mean, her personality is probably like, you know, I might not like this, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Yeah.
So good for her. Like she's a professional. She
stayed in NMB this long. She doesn't want to like ruin her reputation, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing she did. I mean, we should probably finish this, but one other thing she did mention is that it was her decision not to stay with Show Title because she doesn't like all the rules and stuff. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
I definitely get that vibe from her, even like when she was like. I think for the longest time, like when she was like trying to do like Apex streams and stuff, like last year and earlier this year, like I think they told her, I guess, she couldn't do Super Chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's just a lot of like red tape and like roadblocks for her.
I mean, if you're in you know, an actual like big agency or whatever, you do have to deal with like, you know, stupid things, right? Like you can't show the ending of Dragon Quest.
Oh yeah, the credits. Yeah.
Yeah, she talked about it.
Why?
It. Apparently, you know, Square Enix has like stupid rules. Like, Wakapon's doing FF7, right? She reaches Sephiroth, she can't actually show it.
Well, I think she's streaming directly from her PS4, which actually like, blocks out like the whole like last chapter.
Yeah. So she's gonna have a very, very. She's gonna be really surprised when she gets to that.
It's gonna be like a blank screen or whatever. She can't stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even like Mildom, like you can't stream Nintendo games, like Nintendo first party games on that.
Yeah.
On that platform.
Yeah, so basically in general, a lot of gaming companies have put restrictions on streams since streaming has become so big. But then like within Show Title there would be even more restrictions.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to like cover their own asses.
Yeah. I mean, you understand though, right? Like if you're a big company, you're easily sued. If you're like a small YouTuber or whatever, Nintendo's not gonna sue you. But if you're Yoshimoto, then Nintendo's gonna be like, oh god, it's like, that's a couple of million yen, let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, good for her. I wish her all the best. I hope she streams. I hope she streams interesting games because I'm not gonna watch Apex.
No, me too. Even as like, But yeah, she said like her plans like she's gonna like want to stream every day.
She hasn't streamed for 2 days.
Well, she was waiting for like some equipment to come in. Apparently, that's
because
why
she moved back to Chiba, right? And all her stuff is still on the way.
Did she?
I
didn't see that.
I think so.
No,
she said like she was like gonna be based in
Osaka, right?
Oh, she did.
Osaka and Kanto. She didn't really say.
Her family is in Osaka. She lives in Osaka.
Oh, right.
Her family, but her grandmother lives in Chiba.
Yeah.
Like she tweeted like, "Oh, my stuff is in Kanagawa. It might take like the rest of today to get here."
That's probably like Amazon tracking or something.
Like yeah, that's what I thought too. That's the way I interpreted it too. But yeah, she's gonna be streaming I guess stuff every day. I guess it's also gonna be doing like edited content also. So like, she might go to like Tokyo Game Show or something like that. Because she already did that before with like the Ubisoft event she went to in 2019.
Well, if they let her in.
Yeah, they don't. I think it's online only this year too. Yeah. So it's not like she'll be able to do that.
I mean, like
talking about like looking in the future, like will we return to normal?
And if she's a big enough name without the NMB label.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like she wouldn't Ubisoft wouldn't like invite her if she was just some rando.
I think YouTuber. She just went there as a guest. I don't think she actually was like she went there like, as like a normal person, not as like
Ubisoft?
A press member. Yeah.
No, she interviewed like the president of Ubisoft.
Was like an article?
No, it
wasn't. It wasn't
watch
in the video.
It was there.
It wasn't in the video.
There was some white guy she was talking to.
Not in the video, no.
There was. Did you watch?
I subtitled the video, and then she didn't accept my subtitles, so I know for a fact she didn't talk to any white guy there.
She did talk to a white guy. I remember watching this.
It might have been like a cosplayer.
Not all white guys are executives.
Unless there's another video, but I like I said, the one of her like going around playing games and like taking pictures with cosplayers.
Yes, there was a white guy there. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, whatever. Move on.
That's the name. That's the title for the show. There was a white guy there.
Yeah. there's a white guy there.
I mean, it fits. All at the theater shows.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So hopefully, what she's doing in the future will be interesting. Before we get to that part, you guys have any last comments about Anchu?
I think we've talked about her way too much already.
Well, you did.
I mean, yeah. So I didn't watch that the expose video. So some of it is kind of a shock to me, like the not wanting to do non-battle. But thanks for sticking around and making Wink what it was. Then.
Thanks for getting Wink to second place.
Probably when the Static Cup thing happened, she was probably like, "See, this is why I wanted to quit."
It's fucking Mario Party bullshit.
Oh, the blue shell has come out.
Yeah. How about you, Arda? Do you have any comment to say about Anchu?
Well, I actually started notice her when she play Super Mario RPG on her YouTube.
Okay, yeah.
And then looks like she's interesting. And yeah, thank you for starting streaming games on YouTube for NMB, Anchu.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope she finishes it. Like, I was watching it.
She stopped at the very end, and I didn't actually get a chance to follow up on that. I wasn't sure what happened. Maybe because she hit like the point of no return. And in that last video, so she must have like finished off stream.
I think she told you she finished it, right? She just hasn't uploaded it.
She was editing it, I guess, apparently.
Yeah. See, this is...
But never got around to that. I blame the non-battle.
This is what's so frustrating about Anchu sometimes. Like, just, finish something.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And not 3 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, definitely. She definitely started this whole, like, video game trend thing for NMB.
Yeah.
Because now we have so much, like...
Well, no, stuff. It's just Wakapon and Megana.
Oh, yeah, and then Fuwa. And then, like, they did all those, like, online streams with, like, Among Us.
Remember?
And,
they had
Animal Crossing. They did Splatoon with Coconut and Ray.
Remember when everyone had Mildom channel? Or was it Mildom?
Open Rec.
Open
Rec, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, like,
that was
2019, 2019.
I think they were playing PUBG or something, right?
No, they were playing Smash and Mario Tennis. Yeah, and then they brought the whole like Game Boo thing. I wonder like if the Yoshimo Game Boo was also part of like trying to get Anchu to stick around.
No, it's not just for Anchu.
That was a whole Yoshimoto thing.
I mean, it's Yoshimoto in general trying to move into like streaming and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't they have a stake in Mildom or something?
They do.
Yeah. And it's probably like why we knew like Anchu was leaving, because they ended her segment like back in July, I want to say, or June. July.
I mean, if no one watches it, why bother, right?
That too. I mean, because they renewed it for like season 2, because she started it last year, and then they did season 2. And actually, that's when they brought in other members to watch it, because no one wanted to watch this Apex. But then they started playing fucking Momotaro, Momotetsu every. And then the Olympics 2020 game.
Oh yeah.
not the Mario Sonic Olympics game, just the regular ass Olympics game, where you could play as the mascot.
You know what? One of the things that they did in Anchu's channel that I really enjoyed was the Momotetsu stream, like the 6-hour Momotetsu stream with 3rd gen. That was really fun. Like I wish they would do more of that. That's never gonna happen again. But you know,
to do it on Walk Upon channel or on the YNN channel, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so in light of Anchu's graduation, I'm like in the weird spot. Like, okay, what do you do after your Oshi graduates? There's like a lot of directions. I think actually all of us, have had at least one Oshi graduate. So I think we've all gone like in like different directions, possibly.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. You know what? Like, we probably have like all the versions here, other than like an actual like rage quit.
Yeah. Ryan rage quit, but he's still here. He still has Mikana.
Nah.
And Mochan.
And Siyeon.
It's like I don't even like follow her that much though.
You just like the idea of her.
Yes. That's a good way of putting it, Matt.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I talked about this earlier. Yeah, how like I went from Sayaka to Anchu, and I felt like, okay, this is actually a bad idea. And actually, I was really close to like being done with NMB like in 2019. I think I even told Andy like after 9th anniversary. Yeah, I think it's like my last one of these kind of concerts, because I think there's not going to be much for NMB. Like I was kind of like getting there.
I got the feeling, Matt, that you got like way more hardcore because of COVID. And that might be a different Metatopic though, but
motivation changes
and
the Discord.
I think so. I think like of all the the original like NM Bros, like you were I got the feeling that you were the most like casual of all of us, because you had like all the other Oshis as well, like you have your,
from other groups,
Teammate, SKE, and all of that. But like I think right now either you or Jeff are the most hardcore, and I think that has to do with like finding like your lane, right? Like finding an Oshi, finding like a good rapport, a good like balance of like what you want to do, like all the streams, I guess, and then now you get to go to theaters and stuff.
Yeah, especially because like I think. We're talking about my very first Oshi graduation was Achan in 2012, and I was still in America when she announced it, and I can't really count that as like a real like Oshi.
Yeah, I mean, how did you feel about that? It was more like, okay.
No, I got really sad because I think I was like really into AKB like for like a year and a half. So like, of course, I watched AKB and Go and discovered Achan and all that shit.
I mean, at least you saw that in real time.
In real time. Not 7 years later.
Capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was really bummed out at that. Actually, and I actually came to Japan like a week before her like graduation concert, like at Tokyo Dome. I was actually able to see that, so got super lucky with that.
Wait, you got in?
You got tickets?
Yeah, my friend who was my Japanese friend who was also like a big AKB fan. I think he was like a Takoyaki fan or something, or a Asuka fan. He had got an extra ticket, and then I was able to go in with him.
Holy shit! What?
And that was like a week after moving to Japan.
You know how many people I had a friend who flew to Japan, like just to watch on in outside the AKB cafe or something.
What?
Wow.
To gather, wait,
Yeah, to
watch
gather
the
with other
concert?
wotas and to watch.
Yeah, well, I mean that was like peak AKB. That's what people would do that for
Yeah,
sure back then.
Yeah. Oh my god, like her fine. Like I want this to be about Achan, but her final show, in the AKB theater, right? They had to close down fucking Akihabara.
Yeah,
because there were so many
like,
people.
have police. Yeah,
And like the police were getting really upset.
And she came out on like the back balcony.
And that was bullshit too, because they said like they were telling people like get away because like she's not coming out, go home. And then she comes out, and then people like fucking lost it.
Stampede.
Yeah. That was like super golden age.
Yeah. Like you'll never get that like with like Nogizaka or anything.
Well, I guess like going back to the meta topic though, is that like how do you cope with your Oshi graduating? I mean, I guess like you already touched on it, Matt. Like we have like different experiences. So maybe we can go around and talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like Arda kind of talked about this first when he first came on the show, like because he was originally Machun Oshi, right?
So why did you stay with NMB, Arda?
Well, because after Machun moved to AKB, actually moved to Yuri, so I don't really get Machun graduation. The first graduation that I feel was when Yuri announced the graduation. Yeah, it was so. I was so shocked back then and sad because I already planned a trip to Japan, and then some week later she announced graduation.
I see.
Yeah.
So you're kind of similar to Matt, I guess, where the reason you stuck around was because you had another quote unquote Oshi.
Actually,
So-
not yet. After Yuri graduates, I actually basically Team N Oshi because her last team is Team N.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like Jeff.
Yeah, so I'm floating from.
Best team.
Yeah, I try to subscribe to Riona, but then after that she graduated.
Oh man, that must have sucked at that point. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, everyone I Oshi is leaving.
Yeah, after that I'm floating from Nanaho and then Marin before deciding on Wakapon.
I see. So how about you, Matt?
Oh no, go to Jeff. Go to Jeff next.
Okay. Okay, so for me, I mean, if you go back 2.5 years, you'll hear my Mocha graduation episodes.
Was that 2 years ago? Oh my god.
2.5.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, basically, I was still abroad, but then, like, Mocha became my, like, Ichioshi because, like, it was, like, my first time going to concerts, and then, like, I got rest, and then, like, Ninchi at the handshake events. And then, like, basically at the end of 2018, I was already, like, planning to move to Japan the next summer. And then I had gone to and then, like, I didn't, I mean, this was out of the blue, like, for me to hear her graduate. I was like, oh man, I thought she'd be, like, around for, like, another year or so at least. So I go to some events. I mean, it was kind of stupid in hindsight because she's a second gen. She's been there for, like, 9 years already. But yeah, so I mean, I already liked Chihi a lot. She was always my second Oshi for, like, quite some time. So then once I got to Japan and started going to events, it was natural for me to, like, have her become the new Oshi. And obviously I had, like, the stupidest thing I ever thought, like, after the day of the Mocha's grad show, I was, like, at the dinner with, like, the other fans afterwards. And I was like, oh, I'll like Oshi Chihi next, but I don't think I'll like her as much as Mocha. Like, that was so wrong.
I mean, it's a naive idea, right? Especially if,
yeah. At the time, you think, oh, she was, like, the best. Like, no one's ever gonna surpass her, you know. But then, like, obviously coming and then being a fan in Japan, you get so much more exposure. And then also, like, before that, you know, I mean, now I, like, have Chihi's notifications on. Like, I watch every showroom and do stuff like that. So, you know, I follow really closely, and, like, Chihi also hit her stride around the time, so it's just been a good experience following.
Yeah, you got like the late game, like mid-late game Chihi. So it's like you pretend like the first like 4 years or whatever was like her not really doing anything.
Yeah,
you came in right when she started picking up steam.
I think she was like I guess like you could break down Chihi's career in phases. I guess like initially she was kind of pushed. It's like next to Nagisa, she was like the you know the pushed 4th gen, and then it just like, you know, creators, and nothing happens for like, I don't know, 4 years or something. And then she becomes, you know, captain or whatever, and that's like, you know, her as you said, late game rise.
Late bloomer.
Yeah.
But they say like like Oshi, you're Oshi when you can.
Yes, that's true. That's how we justify all the YOLO shit we do.
Yeah. Like, just don't worry about the fact that you weren't there since the beginning. Like, people have left too, and like they need new fans. So
that's true. Like, I know.
Focus on the present, not the past. Like, so if you get into, don't watch. Like, if you're just getting into 48, ignore whatever like Reddit or Twitter international 48 fans tell you. Do not watch AK Bingo.
Yeah.
From 2009, 2010, because it's not going to help you.
Well, I mean, you're probably gonna get like Batata saying like, you know, it's a good. I mean, it's okay to watch if you're only interested in the variety aspect of it, but like it's completely pointless, like, to understand like what they are now, like, you know.
I guess, is there like a wrestling equivalent, like watching like Hulk Hogan shows or something? Like, if you're just now getting wrestling now.
Probably, like, you know,
right, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, my favorite. Who's your favorite wrestler? It's The Rock. Like, The Rock hasn't wrestled for 10 years. But yeah. What was I saying? I guess like so to that point, like, I know like Yuri at the end, like, she would be really surprised if she finds out that, like, you know, you've been a fan for, like, you know, ever since, like, you know, the Team B2 days, like the original B2 days, because like these girls like understand, right? Like, when you start Lolio, like, you get these fans, but then they all disappear, and then you get the new fans. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Oshi who you want. Like, you know what Matt was saying, right? It's a bad idea to Oshi, you know, late stage members. You never know, right? Like, what if you Oshi'd like Yumin like 3 years ago? It would be like, you know, oh, she's about to quit.
Be like a risky. It's not so much like bad, it's more like risky. Like, know what? It's likely they'll leave early.
Yeah,
but they may all stick around. I think even Anchu like kind of like stuck around way longer than we expected.
But you don't choose your Oshi based on like
they choose you
calculation of like, how long they're gonna stay. Yes, they choose you.
But you know what, Jeff? I do like yes on that though. Yes, on the, you don't really choose by like how long they have. But I'm not gonna lie and say that I didn't, like, it never occurred to me. Right? Like, when I started, like, with Yuri, I was like, oh, she's, you know, 14, 15. Like, you know, there's going to be a long time. So I can, you know, you can follow her for a while. So for me, there was part of that. Like, you know, I'm not lolicon, whatever. I don't give a shit about, like, Oshiing lolis. So I didn't care about that part. But, like, the fact that you could Oshi them long. And I'm saying this because I actually remembered that, like, the other day when I was looking at Zion's Twitter, because it says like she's 14 years old. It's like, wow, she's really young.
And now you're on a list.
It's like, hello, Mr. FBI.
Yeah, Chris Hansen's knocking on your door. Like, have a seat here.
Well, he can't enter Japan.
I mean, like, that's fair if you like if it's in terms of you see potential. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone wants to Oshi someone who has no like ambition.
Well,
unless they're Miki Oshis.
I mean, that goes back to the conversations we've been having. In that, does it matter if your Oshi, becomes popular or not? Like there are wotas who don't care.
That's true.
And sometimes it's a double-edged sword. If they do become popular, then it becomes harder to actually get their tickets or whatever.
The selfish wota problem.
Yeah. Well, with the state that 48 is right now, it's probably not a problem to be had by anyone.
I mean, I guess all of us are kind of the not so different types of wota, right? None of us are like nefarious, like in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, we're not. I guess so. We're somewhere. We're comfortably somewhere in the middle of the wotas, right? Like we're not like the super like the new thing, the shiny new thing one. We're not Smilodon, and we're not like only in it for the gravure, right? Like Matt's friends. So. I think most people are somewhere in the middle. Like even we give like and we may a lot of shit for like the gravure, but he's probably just a normal wota. He just plays it up, right? For the gravure stuff.
But he doesn't care about concerts.
Well, that's true. You should watch more than Showroom, man. Like it's not like. I really dislike Showroom in a way because it gives a very warped sense of what being an idol is. Because I mean, it's fine. Like you want to be like Amimaru or something, right? Who's like a chat lady, a cam girl, and I mean, yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Also, like the app always like crashes on me or freezes after like 2 minutes of it like running.
Well, the tech is garbage. So
yeah. It's like it's unwatchable basically.
Yeah.
All right.
So wait.
Do you want to talk about your
me?
Yeah, your your issues.
Well, okay. So for me, like my Oshi was Yuri, now and forever, and like when she was quitting, I remember thinking this. I even probably said it in this podcast. Is that I probably will lose interest. Like I feel I don't think I will have much of connection anymore after she gone, and I really thought that. And for some reason, I guess like, and what's the funny thing is that I think. Immediately after she quit, like even like a few months after she quit, it was just inertia that I was still doing the exact same thing I was doing while I was still following her. Right? I would check Twitter every day. I would, go on Discord, talk to you guys about idols and all of that.
I mean, Discord wasn't around.
Oh, Discord. Okay, whatever. I would talk to you guys about idols. Yeah.
I mean, Discord was around, but the server wasn't around yet. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I was still doing the exact same thing, and I never had the inner realization like oh, I should probably stop because she's not around anymore. Like obviously I knew she wasn't around anymore, but it was like habit. You were still doing it, right? And I did it for like a year, I guess, like until I think until like March of this year. I think it was like. I think it was when Mikana went on hiatus. It's like, oh, what the hell am I doing?
No Mikana, no Ryan. See, the whole time he won't deny. I mean, he keeps on denying that he actually likes Mikana.
It turned out like that, but it wasn't really like my intention. Like I don't Oshi Mikana, well, in the traditional sense, but right in that, like it's just like, well, okay, there's really nothing that interesting for me anymore. So I still follow it, like on the periphery. Like I will watch shows, like I watched Anchu's graduation show, and I watch sometimes I will watch Nagisa on variety shows, and I keep up with some of the news, but like it's it is very, very surprising, like how much I've like calmed down, I guess. Like I wouldn't even consider, like I actually went to Osaka for a theater show. Like when was this? Do you remember, Jeff? After Ayan's graduation, I think. It was probably in like March or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Mikana was in it.
Yeah, yeah. But like now I can't imagine doing it.
You even won like a 98 ticket from the Azo lottery.
Yeah.
You didn't use it.
I threw it away, yeah. Because like there was no point.
Because there's no Mikana.
It's not that though, but I guess. So,
But then when Mikana came back, now you're suddenly back into it.
Not really.
But like, obviously not as much as you were like pre-March, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've always been like, you know, ever since Yuri left, I've always been like, you know, kind of casually looking. But like, you know, Nam Battle was fun, like, you know, watch, especially with like the Discord and stuff, like, you know, experiencing it with the community.
Yeah.
But like after that, it was like, you know, and it's probably like, and partly like it is also because like I don't agree with like, you know, some of the pushes and stuff. So it was like, you know, Jeff always says like I do the old man yelling at clouds thing. But like, I mean, you can't help it sometimes though. Like you compare what we have now versus like what we used to have, and it's like, yeah, really disappointing.
I mean, we'll be there someday.
Yeah.
I try to minimize the negativity though, but I mean it's hard.
It's in your nature.
Yes.
To be negative.
Yes.
Or if it's not negative, then at least like realistic or.
It's so weird though.
Like
it's so weird though. I started as like, you know, super like, you know, the kind of wota that you find weird, where, you know, they would never say a bad thing about the group. Everything's always great. Like management's doing, you know, the right things. Now I just bitch.
Oshi.
Yeah. Now I just bitch about everything. Like, where's the camp?
Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting for the camp.
Yeah, I mean that's probably not gonna happen.
It's out of their control.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I bitch about.
Why isn't Mikana in front? Right. That's.
Yeah. No.
She only has herself to blame.
Whatever. Okay.
Okay.
You can finish it, Matt.
Yeah. So then I'll wrap up then like with my kind of whole like direction. So I treat my Oshi like Pokemon.
So you have 5 on your squad?
Yeah, you have like 5 or 6 in your squad, and especially like, you know how Pokemon is. Okay, you run out of Pokemon, it's game over. So I always try to keep like a healthy like lineup of stock of members I like.
Oh my god.
And then like I also like, you know how in Pokemon you like want to like level them up equally, right? You don't want to have like one crazy over leveled Pokemon, because then you just kind of.
But didn't you go all in with Anchu?
Yeah, she's probably like, so like if we're like using the Pokemon analogy, she's like the Charmander that you level up to like level 30 before you fight Brock, like the first And then like,
who's the Magikarp?
Misaki,
because she dances like one.
So you're gonna turn her into a Gyarados?
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be an American Gyarados, not a Japanese Gyarados. Yeah, so like I always like, even like in like the other groups like AKB or whatever, I also had like a stock of like members. You know, I had like, you know, like Yuihan was actually like my AKB Oshi after Achan left, and then like other members, I liked, you know, Koji Haru, Takamina, and all this other stuff. And they also leave, and then you move on to other members, and then eventually though, like I went more focused on NMB. So like, you know, like people in the Discord and like you guys like will like make fun of me for being a DD or whatever. It's like that's how I do it. It's like I like to have like a nice range of members I like, and it's not just I don't like having them just for the sake of having other members to talk to. If they interest me, I will definitely engage with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it like there's connection there, if I enjoy talking to them and enjoy like seeing what they're doing, then yeah, I'll keep them like in the roster. I'll keep like training them essentially.
But you have a limit though, right?
Yeah, you can only carry 6. And then they just
Can you put them in the Pokemon Center?
yeah. But when they graduate, you release them or whatever. So I made that joke on Twitter. Like I released Anchu like Butterfree.
Oh my god. I'm curious about what you said about 2019. Like, cause that was a year after Sayaka graduated, I guess.
Yeah, and so like at that point, like Anchu was like probably my only like member I still hung on to. I think I hadn't quite gotten onto like Harakaran yet at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she liked Orange Chicken and Panda Express yet.
Oh my god!
Until like I think after it must have been very end of 2019. I think. So yeah, so I think Anchu is my last one, and I was pretty much like, well, she's probably gonna be leaving like in 3 months or whenever, right?
That's why you've been saying it.
Yeah, and then so kind of like this like paranoia of her leaving or whatever, and then I think I started like getting into Harakaran around late 2019, and then I think the Gaijin show in 2020 where I got to see a bunch of these newer members, like in Team N and M. That's when I started noticing some more members a bit more better. Like I think I get you like Yui actually first got my eye there. Walk Upon actually I kind of liked also. So yeah. Yeah, so I think that because I think as Ryan said, like I think COVID definitely has made me more hardcore because now like my focus has just been like watching more of these like activities and stuff, the streams and the shows and talking to them. It's now I've like built up a new team of Namba-mon or whatever you want to call it. So making an announcement here. I think you guys already know what's happening. That now my new Oshi is Harakaran.
Oh, so
Pito.
Did you change?
Pito.
Did you change your?
I changed it on Take a Center.
Are you dead?
Yeah.
So who's your 6th Nambamon right now?
6.
Your new one?
6. God, I can't even think.
So what's your roster right now?
So it's Harakaran, as like a
Your main
fairy type, I guess. We got Misaki. She's the Magikarp, right? Wakapon's there.
Oh.
I guess Kokona is there, but she's kind of like she still needs some training. She's at the daycare, I'm having someone else take care of her right now. And I guess Deguchi has definitely caught my eye. And I forgot Fuwa.
Oh, yeah,
Fuwa's on there too. Okay. So probably Kokona or Deguchi might be like the 6th Pokemon, I think.
I
So yeah, I think I have like a good like roster of people like I still like.
That's
for
good.
the time being.
That's a way to I guess stay, right? Like I mean, we've had like a lot of these conversations, like with a lot of like the former NMB bros that have already left. Is that what would make you stay? And like at the end of the day, like you have to like the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like you can like the group itself as much as you want, but like if you don't give a shit about like the girls, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think it also depends like a variety of factors. Cause I think as more girls or members leave, or even like their music is crap, that's why I started like drifting away from like AKB completely. Is like their new songs are shit, and consequently, I don't really care for the some of the members either. But then,
I mean, AKB has like such weird like levels of turnover that like,
yeah, it's
even if you wanted to follow them, you would have no
right?
idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad we have like a lot of members to rely on at least at this point. I feel a lot better than I do now than I did like in 2019, 2 years ago.
Really?
And I think that's why like I really enjoyed the Lloyd concert because like almost all my favorite members are in the Lloyd concerts. Like I'm more interested in those than like the normal NMB concert stuff.
I thought like before Nam Battle, I thought like NMB was the future is bright, like the thing that Wotas like Richi say all the time, like Mirai wa Karui or whatever bullshit like they say. I actually thought that was true. Like, you know, even when Ayan announced he was leaving, it's like, well, you know, maybe we still have, you know, all these other people.
Stuff Suchan and Mikana.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just those two though, but like, you know, in general, right? Like there was a feeling that like NMB was on the rise, and I don't know. Maybe my opinion will change in a few months or whatever, but
yeah, that's kind of, I guess, like the gist of it. Like, yeah, like how we like handle Oshi graduations and whatnot. Like how do you stick with the group? Do you leave the group? I think Andy's like probably the equivalent of like someone who like his last Oshi was Miru. He was already pretty much checked out of NMB at that point. He only cared about Miru.
well, his basically his like Pokemon team all left. He had like you know Charizard. He had Charizard.
Zapdos,
Shit,
the
what?
Dragonite.
Yeah, Gyarados and what was the
Alakazam.
Venusaur and
Gengar.
Wartortle.
He had Mewtwo. He was a cyclist.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, basically Andy like doesn't
He was a
really,
power gamer.
Yeah, he doesn't really Oshi like, you know, lower
100
grades.
Inchons,
Yeah.
as he says.
So I mean whatever. Like I don't understand. Like I think a lot of the fun in following like Japanese idols is that you see the growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're happy for, you know, getting into Senbatsu, blah blah blah. But you know, Andy isn't really like that. That's why he's probably in hardcore into K-pop now, because he wants like
He wants the in game.
Yeah, he wants the end game exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that, I think speaking of in game, I think we're at the end game of this conversation.
Well, let us know what you guys think.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think about this topic. What do you guys do when your Oshi graduates from the group? Anyway, yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Let us know in the comments or let us know in Discord. All right, and with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we're back to talk about some more stuff. Hey, and we're back. So if you're back from our 2-hour Anchu rant, sorry. Good morning. I hope you enjoyed the nap. We're back to talk about something that'll probably also put you to sleep, and that is a new mobile game called NMB48 Kimito Watashi no Koi no Tako Pa. It's a smartphone game starring NMB48, and it's like a dating sim of I guess you run like a takoyaki shop. And the members come in and like you work with them and you build relationships with them. It just came out. It's kind of like came out of nowhere. Like just suddenly, like some Twitter account announced it. You guys played it, right?
Yes.
Only like a day.
Yeah.
I played for 5 days. I think I didn't give up.
It's like kind of hard to get into because you know it's dating sim crap, right? And then it's all in Japanese. Only on the Japanese like app stores or whatever. The only reason we're talking about it is so there's a cast of members in it. There's a kind of like a Senbatsu, and let's see, we have Keito, Kokona, Nagisa, Rei-chan, Kojirin, Wakapon, Harakaren, Chihi, Uka, Momone, Sadharu, Mikana, Shinshin, Yumin, Anon, and Hinacho are the starring members. I guess there's also supposed to be like 2 more like secret characters you can unlock.
Are there?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I thought there's like 2 like blank spaces like on the title screen.
We suspect that was Suchan and Miru.
Oh, well, yeah. So this game is really weird. So yeah, Hinacho is like the biggest like story from this. It's like, wait, she announced graduation like back in April, and I guess they started working on this game probably around then, I guess, or probably before that. I mean, because they already knew, I guess, Miru was leaving by then. So that's why she's not in there. But yeah, Hinacho being in this is really weird. Everyone's like, "Wait, what the fuck? Is she like not graduating anymore?" But then NMB News like Twitter account announced, "Oh yeah, Hinacho graduation stage announced." Like literally like 10 minutes after this announcement got put out. I think like the intern noticed that on the game, like, "Oh shit, she's still in the group. Okay, we gotta fix it." It's what it seems like. Yeah, so Hinacho actually had her graduation show like 3 days after Anchu's graduation show. Actually, it's one fan I know on Twitter. She's a Anchu and Hinacho Oshi. So we're talking about like having Oshi graduation bad luck. Yeah, she did was a Kokaku Kuho was her graduation stage, and I guess I didn't really watch it, but did y'all watch it? Any of you watch it?
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I heard is like I guess like her speech at the end was really like kind of like sad or depressing. Like to put it up in like one word, it was a regret. Is I guess the theme.
Yeah, basically like apologizing for not being like the ideal idol she could have been or fans wanted her to be. And like the story with her like when she announced graduation, she said it was for school reasons, right? And like you can say like it still goes along with that story, like, oh, school's a lot harder than she thought it would be, and she would rather focus on that than NMB. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole cloud. I mean, we know there's a whole cloud of like the Suchan stuff over her, so we don't know exactly what happened, and we don't really know why she was forced to stay this long for the game.
I mean, it was clearly because of the game, right?
Yeah. I mean,
is that it? Is it because of the game?
I mean, the moment they announced the game, they announced her final day.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder why they couldn't remove her when they possibly removed Suchan and Miru.
It's probably like it was like so deep in development at that point. But even then, I explained like, well, why isn't Suchan in there?
Yeah, we don't know.
But,
I mean, it's a weird thing to speculate about. We don't really know.
Yeah, wasn't there a Mobame? How like apparently like when she announced it, she was actually like it was a mistake. Like she didn't tell management ahead of time.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, true.
Okay, that's fake news from someone.
I don't know. Some people keep saying like it was like a snap decision by her to graduate, but
I mean, it might have been, but like management would still have had to clear it. Like there was no way she was gonna announce that without like telling management about it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's possible like she made the decision with all that was going on at that time, like not in a good state of mind. But
now she's regretting it.
I mean, that would add to the regret she feels now. But
maybe,
yeah,
we don't know. Well, yeah.
I mean, none of us are really her fans, so we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
We don't know all the full story.
Yeah, I mean, I see Hinacho and I see like a lot, wasted potential, but like I don't see anything particularly special compared to like all the other people who left. Like I mean I talked about this on the Discord. I think people are being like overly dramatic about Hinacho.
Yeah,
she's just another girl who could. Like I understand like them being really upset about like Ayan leaving or even Riona leaving, but like Hinacho never like
she was on a hiatus for like half her time here.
Yeah. She was.
I mean that adds to the disappointment.
Yeah, I mean she does have a lot of potential. She did have a lot of potential, but like she was up there in age. Like she didn't look like it, but she was like 20. She's 20 or 21, right?
I think 19 or 20.
Yeah. So it's hey, she wasn't young, and like she's new, and she had like I guess she was interesting in a way, but like yeah, I mean I there's like a lot of girls like better, and who didn't quit. So I would, if I were you guys, I would just like, expend my energy on those girls.
I mean, we liked her. I mean, she had an interesting character. She was kind of getting pushed in some points. Like, she was in the Tokyo Idol Festival Senbatsu last year.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, but then I mean, yeah, like you said, the hiatuses just stopped any momentum she had.
Yeah. So she's like kind of the same like spot as like Yuria for me. Like, I didn't really get a chance to get to know her or like, see her do anything because she was like on hiatus for like half the time she was here.
I don't think she was on hiatus that much.
It wasn't that long, no, yeah, but like still, like I didn't really get to see her much.
Yeah,
like the most I saw her was in the Jinro Burari Jinro video.
Well, I guess that's more of your taste, but
that's my personal.
I mean, yeah, like you said, like yeah, to someone who's not interested, she's like Yuria, but I mean, a lot of us were interested, so that's just why. She's one of the only two kohai who look up to Chihi.
See, that's what. That's okay. Now it comes out. Now it comes out why you care.
See, they are in the TEPPEN Titan together, though.
Was that before or after?
Even before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because she's smart.
I don't want to say anything anymore.
Hey, I mean, you pick your kohai of who likes Yuri.
Yes.
And then you complain when they like her too much.
Well, no. There's a good medium, and some people cross that. Anyways, it's not about Yuri. Hinacho. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's, yeah. I mean, I've already said like what I wanted to say about Hinacho. I think, it's unfortunate she graduated, but it's been a while, and like the whole thing with like she can't have her graduation stage because of like the stupid game, that was very unfortunate. But life moves on. Just you should just Oshi. So I guess like the unfortunate thing is like she's like her character is rare in NMB, which is like the smart character. Like, I mean, she doesn't really show her smartness though. She kind of fails every time she's asked to demonstrate that she's smart. So I mean, if you like the smart type, you're really sad like Hinacho's left. You should just follow Wakapon.
Yeah, Hinacho is budget Wakapon.
Yeah, she is actually.
Oh, that's like a.
I mean, I think Hinacho goes to better schools than Wakapon, but like actual like smartness, probably Wakapon's better.
Like maybe Hinacho is book smart, but Wakapon's street smart.
I mean, Wakapon's book smart too.
Yeah, but shut up! Don't ruin my analogy.
She just knows how to use it better.
So then, next piece of news, I'm talking about Shiyomin. So yeah, she, as we talked about last time, she came back, or she didn't come back. She joined NMB as a 7.5 Jin member.
Do people do people actually call her Shiyomin?
At least in Japan.
No, but I always confuse myself if it's like
Japan,
Siyeon or Shion.
But myself still
Japanese Wota call her Shiyomin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't really follow that much anymore, so I think it's really weird. Like, why not just call her Shion? It's the same thing.
Because it sounds too close to Shion.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, sorry, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So she started doing some stuff with the group officially. So let's see. So yeah, so we already talked about she was part of the group D Hanshikai. Like stealth announced that. She was on what was like the camp replacement stream. Which was like a karaoke, like summer karaoke, and she didn't actually sing that summer song. She sang the fucking, what's it called, the do
guyasuji.
Yeah.
Do guyasuji.
So like whining like shoulder like in her first like thing. Yeah, so like there's like that kitchen like street like just down behind the theater. Ryan, you know this, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
There's a street
they
there.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I guess during like if you're like you stand in there long enough, I actually went and tested to see if I could hear the music when I was down there. Basically they play on the PA and hey, welcome to and they play the music in the background over the PA. So it exists. I can confirm. You heard it here.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they played that music. She sang that, and I guess like it was actually not really in the karaoke machine, so I actually went and had her make their own like backing track, and then like make up their own lyrics for it for her to sing. So that was kind of funny. And then yeah, she performed with the Kinkuseis in the Will Be Idol stage, and she had like I think she's like position 3, 2 or 3, I think.
2.
2, yeah. And there's quite a bit of a shakeup because actually we noticed I guess a little bit before that like Fuwa actually was like having like a breakdown in like one of the shows.
Yeah, I guess like we weren't like when she was having her meltdown, like we didn't really understand why. We thought it was because like Mighty and Anju got promoted and she didn't. I mean I thought that was the reason, but apparently it wasn't. The reason was because what is it, man?
I mean, it's both.
Siyeon stole her spot.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can say that like Akarin chose like the original group right for Will Be Idol, but now that Akarin's gone, now management can start choosing their own group.
Spit on her grave.
Yeah, and I mean even from like way back when though, you can tell like management really likes Siyeon. So I think it was inevitable that she was gonna be center.
Yeah. But you can tell, like, yeah, it's like the week before, like, yeah, Fuwa, like, lost her top spot, and then, but...
No, she was, like, number 7, man. She got demoted to, like, last position.
Yeah.
So, one more...
1 to 7.
One misstep, and she would have been out of the... like,
the running.
The Senbats.
Well, they've been doing, like, a weird, like, half in, half out thing lately. Because they did the Fuwa show and Yuna's birthday show, like on the same day, back to back.
Yeah.
Fuwa, and so I guess she had the Bisaki position for her own show, and then
no,
they fixed it
at her show.
She wasn't center, but she still had her. Solo.
Yeah.
They just rearranged the units.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because even then, like when they gave like Siyeon the center position, she didn't do the solo song. She didn't do "You May Not Kiss Me." Said Mew did it.
Yeah.
Which I think normally she subs in whenever Fu is not in.
Yeah.
She normally does that anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a good it's a good wake up call to Fuwa. I think like you can't coast on that's the idol industry for you, right? Like you can't really coast, so you have to show something. And like it's unfortunate. Like I don't know. I think there's something really weird about Fuwa. Like she's really young, right? She's like 15,
16.
16.
17. Just turned 17.
Okay, so I mean, she's always like, she always looks very
awkward,
like confused. Like she reminds
kind
me
of deer in headlights.
Yeah. She reminds me of like early Kokona.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like she doesn't really know what to do. She looks awkward. Like, oh, should I stand here? Should I look there? Or whatever. So I mean, you can only get better with experience, of course, but it's. Like, obviously for her, probably it feels like at the end of the world, she's really sad, or whatever, she's not center anymore, blah, blah, blah. But I think it will be good for her. Like, adversity builds character.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, builds character, just like when they drop you from Senbatsu.
I mean, it isn't even that, it isn't even that level, right? Like, that she's been dropped from Senbatsu. So, like, she can use this to, get promoted, get into Senbatsu. There's, like, so many slots open in Senbatsu now. Like, it should be a fucking free-for-all.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though. Like, maybe we can pose that to the community. Who will be the first 7th gen to get into Senbatsu?
Yeah. I think we kind of already saw some teases of that, like, with, like, Mew being, like, in the the Hirakata Park Senbatsu.
Yeah, I mean that was.
But
that
then
was
she's
them
kind of like not
testing her, right? Like I don't know. I think Miu's gonna be like, you know, Iso-chan or something, like, you know, just, you know, there. I don't see enough for her to. I mean, because there's so few Senbatsu members nowadays, so maybe she could get in. But like in a just world, she shouldn't, you know, get in.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, one reason we went off on this Fuwa tangent and Xeon tangent is because Shiyomin is in the Will Be Idol thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's because of Shion that she just shook everything up, or the management was always planning on like.
No, I
rearranging.
think she said like she was originally IP's position, which is number 6.
Okay.
And then they just moved, like, you know, the day before or something. They said like, yo, you're gonna be like Mighty or Mighty's position.
Yeah. So who's to blame?
You're talking about Siyeon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not her fault. It's management deciding that they wanted to shake it up.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it coincides with the promotions, which is, I think,
It would have happened anyway.
Yeah, it would have happened. Yes. Like, if they wanted to make a big splash, they should have just made Shion center, right? It's like cause drama.
Show your hand.
Then you
right
get
away.
Then you get Xeon subtweeting.
You're gonna have an international incident.
We are K-pop
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Maybe Andy and Daryl will come back.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So she did that, and then she. I guess she's gonna be starting Showroom, or she has already started Showroom by the time you hear this podcast. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
She also started Mobame, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Aruda subscribes.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to her.
Will you continue? Will you keep paying for it?
Yeah, she sent good photos so far, so it's good.
How's her filter game?
Yeah, actually, very pretty. I think. At least better
She
than
looks
other
very-
members that I subscribe to.
She looks very different in different
Yeah.
photos.
I know that's the thing. I think she's like second to Mew in like warping her face. So
But the result
like,
is
I don't
better than
actually
you.
know. I don't
Yeah.
actually know what she looks like. Because
Again, I mean, it's gonna be kind of mean. I'm gonna get a lot of shit, but she kind of looks like chubby Suzu.
I think she looks like Coco-chan.
It's like the cheeks. They're kind of like
Really?
Yeah, she's kind of like a
Yeah.
Suzu. Suzu.
I
Yeah,
think
a lot
I think she looks much prettier than Suzu. But she looks like Coco-chan to me. I don't know. Maybe we're talking about different people at this point. I don't know.
she changes. She's like Clayface from Batman.
Yeah.
She just changes her.
Yeah, because like
Pictures
Coco-chan
of-
and Suzu look nothing alike.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're
Depends
talking
on which
about.
picture you looked at.
Yeah, exactly right.
Like
And which angle.
when she debuted in the summer concert, like I was like, oh wow, it looks so much like Coco-chan.
I mean, even there, I thought she looked like Suzu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she looked like Suzu too.
Okay, you guys are nuts. Anyways.
Speaking of nuts,
Oh, I like this.
Okay.
I like this
and
transition.
having,
I like this
and
transition.
having terrible
Here we go.
opinions,
Terrible opinions.
terrible life choices. Maybe I guess. Geez. So Kojirin was on a TV show recently. Talking about how she hasn't gotten her vaccine yet, and because she's worried about like the side effects and missing work.
Yeah.
And kind of like it was like this weird like debate show or like news talk show, but like there's not really any kind of debate.
It's like, you know, CNN or whatever, except
Not
more.
even that.
Yeah, not even that actually. Yeah, you're right.
It's like the View.
Yeah, probably that.
Okay, yeah.
It's really soft.
It's like the Today Show, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's kind of like we're talking about like the news or whatever, and it's like some issue, but it's not really a debate. It's more like, oh,
They agree with each other.
This. Yeah. And it's like they have like this like scientist or doctor or whoever who like if it's like really supposed to be doing his job, he would have like argue or try to like
With a
dissuade
slap
her from
Kojirin in
having
the face, right?
yeah. So like tell her like, hey, actually you shouldn't be thinking that way. You should think like this way or whatever. Try to like convince her or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of just disappointing. She kind of said like, I haven't gotten vaccinated. We even have like proof of this from like some Hanshikai with some fans that she had with her.
It's very disappointing that
especially because we know like the group was offered vaccines through like the Yoshimoto like employment program.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like you're doing it through the city or whatever, right? Where it's it's quote unquote hard to get reservations.
And people are just now starting to be able to get like their vaccines now, like reservations now, like in October. I guess so. We're getting there.
But she was offered like through Yoshimoto, and she turned it down because fucking I don't know. She's busy.
She says she's busy, and which I guess also we'll add this. Nagisa also turned them down because she's busy. But I think she said, it might have just been like scheduling. She just could not plan any time to actually sit for like a day to get the shot, and then sit for another day and rest from the shot.
I mean, even that is iffy. Like,
and then she has more reason to get the shot because she is so busy and she's like going back and forth between Tokyo and Osaka all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas like Kojirin, she's not that busy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, compared to Wakapon though.
Yeah, Wakapon got a shot, and she's like as
Kojirin,
busy
right?
as Kojirin.
Yeah.
So shame on you, Kojirin.
Yeah, kind of. It's like what we're saying.
But yeah, I mean, to kind of play devil's advocate and to tone down the canceling. I mean, Kojirin, let's be clear, is not like out on the streets saying like this is 5G. Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know?
Not publicly.
That's why she's actually busy.
Yeah, maybe she has like a stockpile of ivermectin at this point.
The horse medicine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But she's like concerned about side effects, and I think this is a bad job by like management or whoever like trying to convey to them like the benefits of vaccination versus the risks. Like, sure, you might miss a day because you have a fever, but if you actually get COVID, then like you missed like 2 weeks, and then you also like have close contact with like all these other people, and you cause so much trouble.
Yeah.
So like,
it's
you need to think about that.
Yeah, like the side effects of getting the vaccine is you have like a fever. The side effects of actually getting corona is you might die. So it's kind of like the risks are different. Different things.
I mean, I don't know. She's young, so she probably thinks she's invincible, right? Like, so that's how they all think.
And like I've also heard, like I guess like young women apparently get hit by the effects even worse than men,
especially for Moderna, which is the used in the employment program.
Yeah. So that, but I guess kind of a little like soapbox here is like, okay, if she like doesn't like the side effects, or like if she actually is like allergic, because that definitely is like a thing, like a rare case that like people are allergic to getting the actual vaccine because of the ingredients or whatever. I understand that, but if she's not allergic, she should still get the vaccine because of the people who cannot get the vaccine because they actually are allergic. She could infect those people.
Yeah.
And also, like, think of the role models, like, there's like the young, I guess there actually are now like vaccine 12 and up. But you think like, Kato, Bisaki, Ranatan, Siyeon, like they couldn't get the vaccine.
Even if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you're putting those people at risk too.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Like, I mean, we've beaten this dead horse like to a pulp now. So
so much that now we can take some medicine.
Yeah. Dewormers. No, I mean, I hope like Kojirin changes her mind. Like, it's very disappointing to see like the captain of NMB like talking about these unsubstantiated things, and right, like someone like walk up on like even if you're dumb, like that's still not an excuse. Like you can talk to someone who actually knows their shit, like walk up on. So yeah, I mean, I hope she changes her mind.
Yeah,
I'm sure she will. Just need more Japanese social pressure, and that's up to the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna happen in October.
Yeah. All right. And then continue down poor choices. Down this trend.
Speaking of poor choices.
Yeah, so Rikaty, actually we had like a nice little talk about her last time. We felt, oh, she's like doing well, we felt it wasn't really nice. I think we were kinda confused. Because she was doing a bunch of like weird like
influencer
quote unquote
stuff.
chika idol stuff. Like
No, she wasn't doing chika idol stuff. She was doing influencer stuff.
On YouTube video, like
YouTube stuff, and I think she also had like her birthday thing. I remember like some kind of like sign meet and greet thing with the fans. Yeah. Maybe I mixed up the timelines. But yeah, anyway, she's continuing to do more stuff, and I guess she actually showed up. She like I guess was a guest member with Mignon, which is also former NMB member Azasa's little idol group. And they did like a weird like pre-show performance at Kyocera Dome for the Kansai collection.
Yeah. Well, they got like I think you might know more about this, Jeff, than I do, but it was some kind of contest, right? Like showroom or whatever bullshit, like 17 Live or something. That if you got the most money, you got the most support, whatever, your group gets to perform like one song in Kansai collection.
I don't know for sure if Mignon was involved in that, but Apon's group was in something and they did not succeed.
I see. Yeah, I think so. Like there's no way like Azusa's group would have been invited otherwise.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever the circumstances are, they ended up at Kyocera Dome and they performed their one song with Rikaty as a guest member of the group.
Yeah.
And the only issue with that is later she tweeted out like a little, like threw some shade at her former employer.
So, I mean, I guess like I ask you guys. So, did it read to you guys like she was throwing shade? Or were people just overreacting? Because like to give her the benefit of the doubt, like I could read that as her just saying like her group is awesome and they can perform at Kyocera Dome without like thinking anything about like NMB.
I mean she choosing the word debuting, I think debut.
Yeah, she used the word debut.
Yeah, she said like your debut performance was in Kyocera Dome. Yeah. That's amazing, or something like that. So did you guys take that as shading NMB?
It was her. To me, is her wording when she wrote like www afterwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And she knows the vast majority of her followers are NMB fans. And she knows like what kind of reaction she's gonna get out of people.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, maybe I am being naive here because like I mean to me it read like not as nothingness. It was like just general bragging.
I mean, that's how she will play it off as.
Yeah, of course.
But the fact that like hundreds of people were upset about this and unfollowed her and quote retweeted her says otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of like her whole reason for leaving NMB was because she's sick, she had illnesses.
Yeah, I mean,
and now she's like out doing chika idol shit. It's like,
dude, like
she's really sick.
She's still milking that sickness thing though. Like, did you read like there was some tweet from some fan of hers who said like, oh, this is a request from Rikaty because this might be her last event, so please buy tickets or whatever bullshit.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, her birthday
Like,
show. Her
Maybe
birthday
she
thing.
has like a scheduled medical procedure or something, and I don't know.
What?
Maybe there's a valid reason
What
for
fucking
it. But
medical procedure would take? Like, are we in the UK now? You have to wait a year for operation.
socialized medicine. But I mean, like, I'm just saying maybe there's a legitimate thing, but like she's still playing it up, like to the point. It's like, why did you have to leave NMB like on those terms?
I mean,
Use that as the reason.
I don't care about her leaving. Right, I'm happy she's gone.
Yeah.
Whatever. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I just find the whole like sad sob story like really tacky. It's like, oh, I'm sick, so I have to leave. Oh, give me your money. And it's like, oh my god. Like, I mean, she hasn't reached it yet, but she's probably really close to like Azusa level right now. She's actually been banished to the radiation chamber now on the Discord. So we have like 2 members. We have 2 former members there. Or 3. We have 3. So she's the 3rd member. And I think they're all friends. All 3 of them.
Rinachi.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that she joined up with Azusa's group is kind of like like the cherry on the shit sundae or whatever. Yeah. So I think we're more confused. Like, okay, I guess next, kind of jump to this is also Suzu, who also left NMB late last year. She showed up again, and she's started up her own little chika idol group.
Yeah. Well,
and it's not so bad because it's just whatever. Okay, you join a chika idol group, but we're just kind of confused. Like, oh, okay, you leave like a main like proper idol group to go join a chika idol group. Is kind of like a weird direction.
I mean, some other members have done that, right? In AKB, like NMB is an above ground idol group, and she just goes.
Barely,
yeah, well, it still has like a recording contract, right? And and she goes to Chika Idol, and like I don't know why. I don't really have anything against Suzu.
She can be the big fish in the small pond.
I guess so.
Yeah, I
guess so. Like, she's always been like super upset that like Ayan beat her or whatever.
I'm upset Ayan beat her too.
What? No. I am neither upset nor surprised. So, like, yeah, I mean, she's always been like that kind of personality, though. Like, I don't want to compete or whatever. And, that's fine. But, like, why are you in this industry? Like, now she's, like, center of her Chika Idol group, right? Like, what if there's another member who becomes more popular than her?
I mean, that'd be really sad.
Then.
Is she gonna rage quit again?
Quit and make a new group.
I mean, like, if I don't know, that means the group is successful because like most of these groups rely on like the former big idol to bring fans.
No, I mean, no, I'm looking at it from the other way. Like, so they suck so much that these like no-namers are like more popular than her.
But yeah, it's just really weird to go from NMB to a Chika idol group.
I mean, it's hard to say, right? Because like NMB isn't really that big anymore. It's not like the NMB that went to Kohaku or do Music Station and all of that, right? So
yeah,
I kind of understand in a way where rather than being like last position in NMB, maybe it's better to be like center of a Chika idol group because it's all the same or whatever, right?
It's like it's probably like a baseball reference, like with like minor league, like being like the designated hitter.
Well,
like a minor
that's
league
actually
team,
that's actually a very good analogy, Matt. So like you will ask anyone, right? They would rather be like the last position, like number 26 in a major league team. Like, you play like once a week or something, right? Versus like a superstar on a minor league team. Like it's no comparison. No one gives a shit about the minor leagues. So
and you get paid way more.
Yeah, you get paid way more in the major leagues. So it's probably very similar. Like, it's probably better to be like, someone like Kotone or Shiyorin than it is to be like Suzu in the Chika Idol. Because like the number of eyeballs that get on you, like we talk about like Kotone, for example, right? Like we would never talk about her if she was in Chika Idol group.
Yeah.
So that's a good example. But yeah, it depends on the person though. Like, if you're the type, like, there are people like that though. Like, like Anchu's the similar type too, where like I'm just happy to be able to sing and dance.
Well, I don't think she was actually, but
but yeah, you get the idea, right? Like there are people who like it like that. So yeah, maybe that's what Suzu wants. Like, she's always said like she doesn't like competing. It's like, okay, don't compete. Go ahead. Yeah, but like this has sounded more negative than how I feel. It was more how I feel is more like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like whatever.
Yeah. Good luck to her.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, she left on good terms. She didn't shit talk NMB. She didn't do any negative things. So I can say like, good luck to her. Like, I wish her all the best.
Yeah.
See, there is a way to have a career afterwards that doesn't like, cause Wotas to be upset. Like some of these girls just don't understand.
Yeah. I think Suzu we just lumped in with her because the timing was like right like a day after
it's like
the whole
another
Rikaty.
Chika Idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we're kind of like it's not really an issue. It's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next, we got some news, big news to talk about, and that is 11th anniversary has finally been announced.
Yeah. And it's the first time it's not.
Yeah, it's going to be on November 3rd, which is a Wednesday. And they're doing 2 concerts in the afternoon and the evening, and it's going to be at Osaka Joe Hall. Yeah, I guess as Ryan was saying, yeah, it's the first time I guess it's not been in October.
Yeah.
I think we were like looking at it, we were trying to predict like, okay, when's it going to be? I guess like this weekend is full in October, so we're thinking, oh, it might be the 20.
It's actually like a full month after the actual anniversary.
Yeah, almost like a little just shy of like a few days.
Yeah, I mean the actual anniversary is like October, like like very very early October.
October 9th.
Something like that, yeah. So like this would be like a month later, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it is a holiday, but it's in the middle of the week, so
yeah, so it's like really like inconvenient.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to traveling.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, they already started selling tickets. And actually, we already have like gotten our tickets. Like we won the tickets for the lottery, which is not going to be. It wasn't going to be an issue really because we're like in the post Miru, post first gen, post Ion, post Suchan grad phase of NMB. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see like, what this is going to look like.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess they're doing 2 shows, and actually they're doing the seating weirdly. So they're doing you can buy just normal tickets, and there'll be tickets that are like in the stands, presumably, like it's seated seats, and then there's also like a standing seat ticket you can get, which we believe is probably just gonna be then like in like the arena area is gonna be that area, and it might be similar to like how at Jam was, where yeah you can stand up and stand at your seat, or you can sit down, I guess. And then they're also selling tickets with goods and without goods. The afternoon show comes with a pin light, just a regular ass pin light, no like non-bad or anything special really. I think just as like 11th anniversary. And then the night show comes with a towel. Well, I think it has like all the members' faces on it. There's that.
So no one's allowed to graduate before that.
Yeah, that's probably why like we know like Nagisa wasn't going to graduate.
And also, like, it would have been, like, they would have had her grad concert as well.
Yeah, right.
If that was gonna happen.
Yeah, so that's just gonna be a weird concert. I think it's weird. It's gonna be constantly there is like no grad looming over this.
It's been a while.
Yeah, finally. We probably won't talk about now. We'll probably talk about next time, like predictions what we have for the 11th anniversary.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's plenty of time.
Yeah, we have a month, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. Looking forward to that. Next, I have a couple of things I'm going to talk about real quick. Some shows they did over the past month. So there was the episode talk GP or Grand Prix, which was like this weird like they've been doing these like talk shows, but this was not really a talk show. It was more of like kind of like a weird like comedy story contest, I guess. Like they were given like a situation and they had like respond to it, and then the fans in the theater would vote for the story they liked better. So this starred Wakapon, Kojirin, Mighty, Yuzuha, Momone, and Nagisa was the MC. And they did that kind of like round robin tournament style, like with these different stories. And in the end, Wakapon was the winner. And I guess they announced at the end of it that this is gonna be like an ongoing series like of like tournaments, and it's gonna like come down to this final like funny story championship. But they didn't really say when the next one's going to be, I don't think. So
hasn't it taken over the Line Live time slot or no?
No? What?
It's not even regular.
Oh.
Yeah, they said it's going to become a regular thing, as in like they'll be doing this more than once. I think that's what they mean, I guess.
Probably next episode will be during next Hanasikai or before the 11th anniversary, I think. We have
probably, yeah. They might even do it like during one of the anniversary, which would be really shitty if they did that, like really boring. They did it during like one of the anniversary concerts. But yeah, that happened. Let's see. So there's a new show on YNN called Sadharu. No, it's not called Sadharu. Sadano Haruka presents Hisashiburi no Asobi, which is this like long-running YNN series. I think the last one was Nakagawa Mion presents. That was from 3 years ago.
They stopped. They stopped when they became Shin YNN. When they became like the new YNN.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they cut a lot of the outside location shoots.
Yeah, basically it was budget cuts because they realized that like people pay for YNN for the live streams, so they were like, okay, we'll just do live streams then.
Yeah, which kind of, I guess, yeah, I understand why. It also was easier for them to produce because like, okay, we just have to do like a 2-hour live stream and that's it.
Sit some members in the crappy beat up room.
Yeah.
Yep.
And let them talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but like I mean, you need variety, or else like people get tired.
Yeah, they're kind of doing that already. Like they have like the Xeon Gundam show, and then they have the Guitar Cafe with Wakanya. So those are they're doing different stuff. It's nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So this series stars Sadharu, Wakapon, Anju, and Misaki. And actually, it's being subbed on TEPPEN Subs. You can check it out on the Tumblr page or Twitter. The first 2 episodes are done. You got to go check those out right now. Third one is being worked on, and it's only 4 episodes, so we'll see. It's pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, these series are what really got me into NMB and learning a lot of the less popular members.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the views, though, it has like way less views than live streams. So you should support it. Everyone should support it. The people who pay for YNN should support it.
Yeah, get a YNN subscription after watching the subtitled version on TEPPEN Subs.
Because PayPal okay.
Yeah.
I subscribe to YNN just for 24 hours.
Yeah. It's not until December, so
I know.
You subscribe all year just for 1 month.
Yeah, I hope it's fun this year. Like I mean I don't know. They haven't learned though. It's just like the breaks are so fucking long now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's a different rant for a different day.
Yeah. Next, let's talk about Wakapon and Mikana. They're back
Yes.
playing video games, and they played Shadow of the Colossus.
Jesus Christ.
Like they were weirdly like trying to marathon it. Like they tried to do it like in one stream, and then
because
it's not happening.
Because the game was supposed like you can finish the game in 6 hours. Like even if you kind of like you didn't know the game. Like I mean, if you're really really good at the game, you can probably finish it in like 3 or something. but like normal gamers could probably finish in 6 to 8 hours. So they were like, okay, we'll just do a marathon and then we'll finish it. I think that was a dumb decision. That was a dumb decision because like both of them, even Wakapon, sucks at games.
Yeah, as evidence in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah. Like she doesn't know how to fight. Like, oh my god. Anyways, so it's they took them 3 days basically.
But across, I think it was like 16 hours, 15 and
6 until 8 hours.
Yeah.
So wait, let me check now.
That's on Wakapon's YouTube channel. You can check it out.
Yeah, it was 16 hours.
Yeah.
But it's good to see them back. Like, I just wish they did. Like, I mean, Shadows of the Colossus is a great game. So I don't know if they actually understood what it was about.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think Wakapon understood and she had to explain it to
Mikana.
She
Yeah,
didn't know.
Mikana didn't give a shit. Like, she was like sitting there, like, just hoping, like, oh, can I go home now? Yeah, at one point it was just like Wakapon playing. And like,
kind of like went and took a nap or something, or went to the kombini.
Like the whole concept, like the concept of Wakapon and Mikana gaming is that like Mikana sucks at games, so she plays and then Wakapon like guides her. But like they realized really early that like Mikana would die like just like exploring the world, so like there was no way she was gonna kill a Colossus.
Yeah, so they haven't said what they're going to be doing on next, but we're hoping like they'll do some. I think
we're hoping they
games
continue.
Work better. Yeah.
The thing with these the thing with these streams and stuff is like we're never sure.
Yeah. Showroom Namba Grand Prix is a thing happening on Showroom. So actually on Showroom, they're making all NMB do Showroom like before and after the theater shows.
Yeah.
And I guess Chika Pollo is like monitoring them and making sure they're actually doing it. I guess he's like the connection to Showroom. I guess they told him to do it, and now he's telling them.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but yeah, this Namba Grand Prix thing is like I saw it's like a prompt like asking like what's
the
ideal
Ogiri.
8th gen candidate.
It's is there a word for it in English? It's Ogiri, right?
Yeah.
Like
no, there's not one word, I guess, but they have to like come up with like a funny answer to a question.
To a prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like a new like super member joins 8th gen. What kind of member?
Yeah.
And they do like puns and stuff like that. Like what was Misaki like? He doesn't speak Japanese.
No, they're not Japanese.
They're not.
They are non-Japanese, yeah.
And then she had to translate. She wrote that in English, and then she had to translate the Japanese for the Japanese fans to know what she said.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they got angry or anything. But
I thought like of all the answers, because obviously a lot of them sucked. Like of all the answers, I think Misaki's one was like pretty funny.
Who was the one that like posted the giant Shinshin?
I think it was Kotone.
Kotone posted the giant Shinshin.
Yeah, that was funny because like it was a pun.
Yeah.
Ogata Shinjin, which is like new big time new member. So it was like if you misread it, it can be like Ogata Shinshin, which is big Shinshin.
Big Shinshin. Yeah.
Yeah, the members really hate this though.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's number one, it's forced, right? Like no one actually likes getting forced to do anything. And like, it's hard. Like comedy is hard.
The question is like really not that great either.
Yeah.
And then you have to not like get the same answer as 40 other members.
Yeah.
And you're like you're like reading the comments, because it's the idea is that fans suggest or like you discuss with fans to come up with a funny answer, but then you're like from the members' perspective, they're just seeing like stupid puns scroll past them on the screen. You're like, which one of these do I pick?
Yeah. Anyways, as always, anything to do with Showroom is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. And then NMB was on a couple of TV shows recently, like actual real TV shows. So Nagiso was on Kamiwaza, which I guess is like a weird like challenge where you can win 1,000,000 yen
Yeah.
if you complete the challenge.
She was with like some Nogizaka girls, right?
Yeah, and I guess their challenge was like it was a milk crate challenge, but not that milk crate challenge. If you know what that is.
What?
So the milk crate challenge is like the TikTok one where like you make like a pyramid of milk crates. You have to run from one side to the other side, like while climbing on top of the milk crates.
Okay.
And everyone like when they get to the top, everyone else falls off, and it's like fucking like 6 feet up in the ground, up in the air. So it's like everyone else gets like a concussion. This milk crate challenge, though, however, is like just stacking milk crates like in a single pillar. I think the goal was to get 20
while climbing it, right?
While climbing it, and like they have like a bungee, like a little like crane attached to them, so like if they actually fall, it's not actually going to get hurt. But if they fall off it while climbing it and placing the crate, they fail. And Nagisa actually managed to get all 20 crates on top, and managed to stand on it or climb up it. And so she got 1,000,000 yen, and then I guess she did like an emergency YouTube stream to talk about how to spend it. And I think her original goal was to buy a new toilet for the theater, but the theater is
too small.
Too small. There's not enough room to build a new toilet.
Yeah, I mean, I could have told her that because like Sayaka tried it last time, and she was told the same thing. So yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess she spent like the rest of the stream like calling all the members, asking what they were doing, and then she called like Wakapon and Mikano while they were doing the game, while doing Shadow of the Colossus. I guess they got really like annoyed that she was calling them while they were doing it.
Not really. It was they were like they were about to enter. They were about to do the final Colossus, so it was actually good timing. And
like
it was okay. It was fun. Like it was a crossover. They got like 300 more viewers, I guess, like from Nagisa stream to open their stream.
Yeah.
In that sense, it was successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think she actually decided what she was going to do with it though.
No, she hasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people were like begging like wine and.
Oh yeah. It was funny because because Wakapon and Mikana were with YNN, right? So
yeah, I
think Nagisa's manager told her, "You should ask YNN what they want." And they asked, and YNN was like, "Oh, you could totally like contribute the Kyun Mart YNN budget." And she was like, "Nope, not gonna do that."
She wants to help all of NMB.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that, and then the other show they were on, Wara Kami-sama, which had Nagisa, Coconut, Kojirin. They're just doing a bunch of like little like dumb like jokes. The funniest thing that actually got a lot of interest online was they're doing the Sukawari, like where you hit the watermelon while blindfolded, and right on the dock, like on this pier next to like the ocean. And like all three of them just like run off like into the ocean, all blindfolded, on a stick.
I thought you were gonna talk about the Neoki Dokiri with Kojirin.
Oh yeah, that was also that was already teased, so it was kind of like lost its like effect.
Yeah, I mean,
but actually the funny thing about that was like they like were like, going through her bag and they found like this like self-help book or whatever, like things that like successful people do or whatever, and they're like, this doesn't really seem like Kojirin style because she's an idiot. Yeah, but yeah, then they wake her up and she has a giant like goose.
At least it wasn't.
She has a giant goose. There's that. Another show's coming up is Emosuto on September 30th. That's starring Q-Mart.
Except Nagisa and Kojirin.
Yeah, minus the two busiest members of NMB. Too busy to get a vaccine. And I think the highlight of this, I guess, Uka and Karen are going to USJ. And I don't know what the other members are doing. I think they're at somewhere else, but I'll be looking forward to seeing what happens there. So there's that. And then coming up on October 1st is Tokyo Idol Festival, and Jeff is actually going to be going to this. And not me, because I have absolutely no reason to go to this.
Yeah, NMB was announced to go to Tokyo Idol Festival like several months ago, and I was like, I kind of like decided to go to @Jam over it. And then a few weeks ago, they announced the members going to Tokyo Idol Festival, and Chihi is going. So
yeah,
I'll be there early, lining up.
Yeah, it's like a weird like remix of the at Jam group. So it's a Wakapon, Kokona, Uka, Chihi, Kojirin, Keito, Rei, and Momone.
It's the top 8 members, obviously.
I guess so. So then is Chihi number 8?
No, number 1, obviously.
Yeah. So anyway, Jeff's gonna enjoy that, I guess. He'll come back next time to report on it.
How many other Chika idols I had to fight
Yeah.
to get first row?
Is it still in Odaiba?
Yes, it's
Okay.
This is gonna be indoors at Zep Diversity.
Okay. Yeah, because actually Zep Tokyo closed like a month ago.
No, not yet. Actually, 2 days
Well, it's
after
closing the end of this year.
2 days after this, I'm going to Zep Tokyo for a Scandal
Okay.
concert.
Alright, so he's gonna be busy. But yeah, that's kind of got what's going on in NMB in the future. So that's gonna do it for this edition of NMB Takoyaki Party. It's a pretty long show, talking about a lot of stuff at the beginning. Let us know again what you think about like your favorite members graduating. Like, what do you do when they graduate? Let us know in the comments or on Discord. You also let us know on Twitter. If you like the show, please subscribe to the show on YouTube or on your podcast app. Give us a review. Leave us a comment and likes and stuff on the channel. And yeah, that's going to do it for this edition of NMB Takoyaki Party. Thank you for listening. Peace.